Chapter 781. Alright, stop arguing. Ling Tian felt a headache coming on. These two subordinates were really strange, but he couldn't do anything to them. One was sent by the Song family, so he couldn't afford to offend them. The other was a veteran of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, so he couldn't say anything. He could only say, Deputy Bureau Chief Song, if you have evidence, show us. You know that we need evidence here. It's not like you can do whatever you want. Hee, the evidence is simple. Song Billion decided to throw out a bomb. Do you know who obtained the title of Demon Sect Leader in the end? Why are you saying all this? Xia Zhili frowned. No matter who became the Demon Sect Leader, it wasn't a good thing. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau would definitely be pressured if they interfered in the future. Hee, the Demon Sect Leader is actually Shao Chen. Ha ha ha, you guys are surprised, right? Song Billion suddenly laughed out loud. What? Shao Chen? Xia Zhili was stunned for a moment, then he was overjoyed. However, on the surface, he said, did you pee in your head? Doesn't Shao Chen have a grudge against you? When he becomes the Demon Sect Leader, the first person he will kill is you, you fool. Humph, he dares. Let's not talk about whether he can find this place. Even if he does, what can he do to me? Yang Jiannan will kill him first. Song Billion curled his lips and said, what I want to say is, the grudge between Shao Chen and Yang Jiannan is even bigger. With such a strong enemy in front of him, Yang Jiannan didn't even let out a fart. Is that possible? Is it realistic? Even if he doesn't appear, he should at least send a message to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, right? Therefore, I can confirm that Shao Chen didn't appear at the Demon Sect conference. Who says I can't find this place? An indifferent voice sounded. Then, the door of the conference room was pushed open. Shao Chen walked in arrogantly. Xia Zhili, did you pee in your head? I don't dare to do anything to you. Come, get up. Let's see if I dare to do anything to you. You. Shao Chen. Why are you here? Who let you in? How did you get in? Song Billion was startled. He stood up from his chair with a whoosh and looked at Shao Chen with an incredulous expression. Why can't I come? Don't I always come here? Have you forgotten me so quickly? Shao Chen walked into the conference room and sat down on the seat that belonged to Yang Jiannan. He said calmly, Deputy Director Ling, I've completed the task I took before. Fortunately, I didn't fail my mission and successfully destroyed the Demon Gates event because I robbed the leader of the Demon Gate. The reason why Shao Chen could come in was that he had transformed into Yang Jiannan, so no one questioned him. He just returned to his original appearance at the door of the conference room. What? You? Ling Tian was also a little confused as he looked at Shao Chen with a strange expression. Xia Zhili, on the other hand, was shocked. Although he knew that Shao Chen was Yang Jiannan, he was still shocked that Shao Chen appeared in his original appearance. However, he didn't say anything. He didn't know what Shao Chen was planning, so he decided to act according to the situation later. Everyone doesn't recognize me? I'm Yang Jiannan. Shao Chen said calmly, oh, right, I forgot to introduce myself. Actually, the Yang Jiannan from before has always been me. The real Yang Jiannan was killed by me a long time ago. You? Ling Tian was a little shocked. He didn't think that Shao Chen would dare to say it in front of everyone. Was he not afraid? Alright, Shao Chen, since you've admitted it, don't blame me for being impolite. Song Billion exploded on the spot and sent a palm towards Shao Chen. He wanted to make use of this opportunity to get rid of Shao Chen. Furthermore, no one would say anything about it. Since Shao Chen admitted to killing Yang Jiannan, then he would be taking revenge for Yang Jiannan. Regardless of whether the Yang Jiannan from before was Shao Chen or not, as long as he got rid of Shao Chen now, Xia Zhili would be alone in the future. At that time, how would Xia Zhili be able to go against him? From Xia Zhili's silent attitude, he could tell that Xia Zhili probably already knew about this matter. At first, he was still wondering why Yang Jiannan and Xia Zhili had a falling out and suddenly reconciled. So it turned out that Xiao Chen had replaced Yang Jiannan. No wonder. As for Xiao Chen's true strength, Song Billion wasn't clear. He didn't go to watch the Devil Gate Grand Meeting. After watching the first day of the competition, he knew that it was impossible to destroy it, so he went back to the inn to sleep. After that, he heard that Xiao Chen won the championship with Devil Star Sex Xiao Chen. Although he was shocked that Xiao Chen's strength was so high, now that he knew that Xiao Chen was the previous Yang Jiannan, he was more confident in his heart. Wasn't Yang Jiannan just at the first level of Devil General? Then he was still confident that he could catch him off guard and get rid of him. Thinking of this, Song Billion suddenly made a move. Pa! Xiao Chen slapped Song Billion's face, directly sending him flying. He crashed heavily into the wall behind the conference room, smashing a big hole in the wall. And Xiao Chen's strength, which was equivalent to the 6th level of Devil General, was completely revealed at this moment. 6th level Devil General. Song Billion spat out a mouthful of blood. After a long time, he finally said these 4 words in a panic. Xia Zhili was also shocked. He hadn't seen Xiao Chen for a short month. How did Xiao Chen suddenly become a 6th level Devil General? What was going on? He remembered that Xiao Chen's strength was inferior to Yang Jiannan's. Previously, his 1st level Devil General strength was only obtained by borrowing Yang Jiannan's fame. Now that Xiao Chen revealed such a move, even he was shocked. Of course, the one who was the most shocked was Ling Tian. Originally, he was thinking about how to punish Xiao Chen. But now, he was thinking about how to appease Xiao Chen and let Xiao Chen stay in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. 6th level Devil General, the identity of Devil Star Sex Disciple, and most importantly, the identity of the Devil Sex Sect Leader. These made Ling Tian have no choice but to be cautious. He couldn't use normal rules to restrict Xiao Chen. Do you think I dare to touch you? Xiao Chen stood up and walked towards Song Billion with a smile that wasn't a smile. Old thing, you still dare to sneak an attack? You're pretty strong, huh? Come, sneak an attack on me again? You. How is this possible? Yang Jiannan was clearly a 1st level Devil General previously. Song Billion roared in disbelief. Are you stupid? He's a 1st level Devil General, but I can kill him. What level do you think I am? Do you have any logic in your head? Xiao Chen looked at Song Billion with a smile. I think I'll kill you today. Otherwise, with your intelligence, there's no point in living anymore. Song Billion felt sullen, but there was nothing he could do. He didn't even dare to argue with Xiao Chen. He was afraid that if Xiao Chen was unhappy, he would kill him. In this conference room, no one could stop Xiao Chen. Not even Ling Tian. Cough cough. That. Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao, don't be rash. We're in the middle of a meeting. Let's put aside our internal conflicts for now. Ling Tian thought for a while and slowly spoke up. Since he called Xiao Chen Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao and not Deputy Bureau Chief Yang, it meant that as the Executive Deputy Bureau Chief, he had set the tone for this matter. He had acknowledged Xiao Chen's legal status as the Deputy Bureau Chief. Although there was a possibility that the higher-ups would blame him after this, he had already made a promise. This matter was basically a foregone conclusion. Furthermore, during this period of time, Ling Tian had already received hints from the higher-ups. He knew why the higher-ups wanted him to delay his retirement. It wasn't entirely because of the Devil Sect Conference, nor was it to obstruct Xia Zhili's promotion. The real reason, he would explain it later during the meeting. Oh. Xiao Chen pondered for a moment and looked at Ling Tian with a strange expression. He left his back to Song Billion, but no matter how stupid Song Billion was, he wouldn't dare to launch a sneak attack. The difference between him and Xiao Chen wasn't on the same level. If he dared to make a move, he believed that Xiao Chen would be able to kill him in a matter of seconds. Since we've already ruined the Devil Sect Conference, this is a good thing. Let's hurry up and discuss what to do next. Ling Tian said, Deputy Bureau Chief Song, I hope that you can conduct yourself with dignity. Don't speak recklessly. Yes. Song Billion climbed up gloomily. He knew that he had managed to escape a calamity. If Ling Tian didn't directly acknowledge Xiao Chen's status as the deputy bureau chief, that Xiao Chen might have really exploded and killed him. Now that Xiao Chen had a status, he couldn't casually harm his colleagues. Even if he was not willing to let Xiao Chen take the position rightfully, he knew that his words were like a fart. No one would listen to him at all. If he did not handle it well, Xiao Chen's life would be in danger. Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao, does this mean that you're the leader of the Devil's Sect now? What plans does the Devil's Sect have in the future? Ling Tian looked at Xiao Chen and went straight to the main topic. It was as if nothing had happened. Because my appearance was rather sudden, the Devil's Sect's original leader was Ma Qingting from the Kuei Shan sect. However, I injured her and forced her to step down. They had no choice but to acknowledge me. Xiao Chen said, I'm afraid that it's only in name now. However, this way, it's impossible for the Devil's Sect to form an alliance. I see. However, this is already not bad. I didn't think that it would actually work. Ling Tian nodded and said, all right, this matter has come to an end. In the future, Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao will be in charge of contacting and handling the matters of the Devil's Sect. The matters of the Devil's Sect had always been handled by Song Billion, the Deputy Bureau Chief. Now, it was handed over to Xiao Chen. What did this mean? Could it be that Ling Tian was willing to do this? Or was it because he had no other choice? Or was it to pave the way for Xia Zhili's promotion? Was he handing over a portion of the authority to Xia Zhili's people and gradually supporting Xia Zhili? All right, no problem. Xiao Chen nodded and didn't reject. After all, he was still the leader of the Devil's Sect in name. It was better for him to be in charge than someone else. Chapter 782. Next, I want to talk about something more important. Ling Tian said, everyone here knows that other than Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao, everyone here is an old member of the Supernatural Investigation Department. The old bureau chief was injured in the past, and because of his old age, his injuries have flared up again. He has been unable to manage the affairs of the department normally. Recently, his injuries have worsened, so the higher-ups have decided that I will temporarily take over the position of the bureau chief. As for the position of Deputy Bureau Chief, initially, I wanted to let Deputy Bureau Chief Xia Zhili take over, but now, Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao is obviously stronger than Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. In actuality, Ling Tian's words were partly to break up the relationship between Xiao Chen and Xia Zhili. If they were too close, it would be detrimental to his future management. Previously, Xiao Chen might have had to work with Xia Zhili because of his identity, but now that his identity had been made public, there was no need for him to continue working with Xia Zhili. Thus, he decided to promote Xiao Chen. This way, with Xia Zhili and Song Billion holding him back, it wouldn't cause any trouble for him. Previously, when he handed over the matters of the Demon Sect to Xiao Chen, it was just that at that time, no one had thought it through. However, now, both Xia Zhili and Song Billion understood. What do you all think? After Ling Tian finished speaking, he asked with a smile. I agree. Song Billion was the first to jump out and express his support. Whether it was to repair his relationship with Xiao Chen or to deal with Xia Zhili, he would always be the first to express his support. I abstain. Deputy Bureau Chief Zhang would always abstain. After all, this didn't have much to do with him, so there was no need to offend him. I also agree. Xia Zhili hesitated for a moment. His expression was a little complicated, but he still nodded his head in agreement. He looked at Xiao Chen and thought about the things that Xiao Chen had helped him find. He felt that he shouldn't hold up Xiao Chen because of his desire for power. Xia Zhili's reply surprised both Song Billion and Ling Tian. Why did Xia Zhili agree? Xiao Chen was not surprised by Song Billion's approval. Regardless of whether he wanted to attack Xia Zhili or express goodwill to Xiao Chen, it was understandable. However, Xia Zhili's answer was a little strange. Xiao Chen glanced at Xia Zhili and saw that the other party nodded at him. Xiao Chen was touched. It seemed that Xia Zhili was truly grateful to him, and it wasn't just because of benefits. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen slowly said, Deputy Bureau Chief Ling, or should I say Bureau Chief Ling, I think it's better to let Deputy Bureau Chief Xia Zhili be the Executive Deputy Bureau Chief. Oh. Ling Tian was slightly taken aback, his eyes narrowing as he looked at Xiao Chen curiously. What do you mean? First of all, I don't have much time to work here. I still have my own things to do. I have to go to school, pick up girls, find my dad, and so on. Anyway, I'm quite busy. I definitely can't put all my energy here. Xiao Chen smiled. Also, I don't like to be tied down, nor do I want to manage so many things. However, I will definitely support Deputy Bureau Chief Xia in his work. Probably only Xiao Chen would dare to speak to Ling Tian like this. He actually dared to say that he wanted to pick up girls. However, with Xiao Chen's current strength, he did indeed have the qualifications to say such things. Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao, have you thought about it? Ling Tian could already tell that Xiao Chen was not trying to reject him. Giving so many reasons, it was obvious that he wanted to reject him. I've thought about it. Xiao Chen nodded. I'm actually really not suitable. Alright, since that's the case, I won't force you. Ling Tian nodded. He didn't dare to blame Xiao Chen for this matter because the Supernatural Investigation Department still needed to rely on Xiao Chen in the future. How could he offend Xiao Chen over such a small matter? What do you think of Deputy Bureau Chief Xia? Xiao Chen asked. Originally, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia was the candidate. However, after seeing your strength and achievements today, I made this decision on the spot. I hope you don't mind. Ling Tian smiled. Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao, I hope that you can contribute to the Supernatural Investigation Department in the future. Your strength is enough to make us proud. I won't restrict you, as long as there's a mission that you can help us with. That's what I should do. Xiao Chen said seriously. Actually, this isn't for the Supernatural Investigation Department. It's because Deputy Bureau Chief Xia helped me in the past. So, as long as Deputy Bureau Chief Xia is here, I will also stay here to help. Although saying this might seem like I'm not putting you in my eyes, what I said is the truth. It's nothing. I'm not that petty. Ling Tian laughed. With Xiao Chen's strength, nothing could be said. Xia Zhili's eyes became a little wet. He didn't think that Xiao Chen would say such a thing. He immediately felt a little ashamed of his previous hesitation. Although he had agreed to Ling Tian's suggestion for Xiao Chen to be the deputy bureau chief, he didn't feel very comfortable in his heart. At this moment, he knew that he had gauged the heart of a gentleman with his own mean measure. Xiao Chen wasn't an ungrateful person. He was different from that traitor Yang Jiannan. Xiao Chen was loyal and righteous. Just based on those simple words from Xiao Chen, he, Xia Zhili, was able to secure his position as the deputy bureau chief. With the support of a sixth-layer demon general, who would dare to oppose him? Especially someone like Xiao Chen who didn't follow the rules. Didn't he see how Song Billion was sent flying by Xiao Chen? Deputy Bureau Chief Xiao, don't worry. If there's anything in the future, we'll discuss it. Xia Zhili hurriedly said. If there's anything else, then I'll be annoyed to death. If you have a problem that you can't solve, then look for me. If it's a small matter, you know. Xiao Chen laughed. Okay, then I won't act pretentious. Bureau Chief Ling, don't worry, I'll do my best. Xia Zhili said. Okay, then this matter is settled. I'll report to the higher-ups after the meeting. Ling Tian nodded and ended the meeting. Song Billion walked out of the meeting room with a gloomy face. Xia Zhili and Xiao Chen, on the other hand, were chatting happily. The two of them walked to the office before Xia Zhili said, You came in like this today and gave me a fright. I didn't expect your strength to be so terrifying. Pfft. Xiao Chen was instantly amused. It's not that exaggerated. I'm just a sixth-layer demon general. It's nothing in the outside world. That's right. You've already set your sights on the outer world. Xia Zhili sighed. But it's fine now. Your identity has been exposed, so you don't have to go through the trouble of hiding it anymore. With your current strength, the previous problem is no longer a problem. Ling Tian really has a good plan. Roping you in, the overall strength of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau will definitely increase a lot in the future. Hee hee, didn't I say it already? It's for you, Deputy Bureau Chief Xia. Xiao Chen laughed. Xiao Chen, I really didn't expect you to give me so much face. I, Xia Zhili, have no regrets in this life to have a good friend like you. Xia Zhili sighed. Xiao Chen, you're a good person. In the future, help me take care of Xia Shibin. He can be considered to be the heir of my Xia family. Although our relationship isn't as close as ours, he's still my godson. I'll take care of him. Xiao Chen nodded. Where are you going next? Xia Zhili asked. I plan to go back to Songming and take a look at my home. Then, I'll leave for the outside world. With the identity of the demon sex leader in name, it'll be much easier to investigate some things. I want to investigate my father's matter. Xiao Chen said. Okay, then go. I'll look for you if there's anything here. Xia Zhili said. If you encounter anything in the outside world, you can look for Vice President Nian to coordinate. He and I are old friends. You know that too. Okay, I'll remember. Xiao Chen replied. Outside world, Quishan sect. Ma Qingting lay on the bed. He had only just recovered from his injuries today. He was infuriated and wanted nothing more than to kill Xiao Chen. He was supposed to be the sect leader of the demon sect, but in the end, all his efforts were in vain. Father, I can't accept this. Seeing Ma Qingting walk in, Ma Qingting clenched his fist and said loudly. Sigh. Ma Qingting had been worried for the past few days. He didn't dare to inform his backer about the results of the demon sex conference, but he knew that this kind of thing couldn't be hidden. The news would eventually spread. As expected, just as he came to check on Ma Qingting's injuries, his phone rang. He looked at the caller ID, and his heart skipped a beat. Elder Yan, hello. I'm Ma Qingting. Ma Qingting braced himself and picked up the phone. Sect leader Ma, what are you doing? Why didn't you tell me about such a big thing? Are you waiting for the news to reach me through the grapevine? On the other side of the phone, Elder Yan's voice was filled with indescribable anger. I'm trying to solve this problem. I'll report it to Elder Yan after I'm done. Ma Qingting could only say carefully. Solve? Solve my A**S. Xiao Chen became the demon sex leader under the watchful eyes of the public. Can you still solve it? Elder Yan was instantly enraged. Tell me, are you going to remove Xiao Chen from the position of sect leader and re-elect him? Of course not. Ma Qingting stammered and couldn't say anything. You mean, you've been trying to solve it for so long, but you still can't do anything, right? Elder Yan snorted coldly. Ma Qingting almost knelt down in fear. He quickly apologized. I'm sorry, please forgive me, Elder Yan. I didn't do it well. Do you know that you've held me up? Elder Yan asked coldly. I know, Elder Yan has always wanted to unify the demon sect in the outer martial arts world. You want to control it through our hands. During the re-election next year, we'll definitely achieve our goal. Ma Qingting quickly promised. Chapter 783. That's just what you think. Don't spread it. Elder Yan warned, since Xiao Chen has become the leader of the devil sect, don't think about destroying it. I'll give you the next task. Please say it, Elder Yan. Ma Peiqian knew that Elder Yan would not blame him for what happened before, so he quickly asked seriously. Think of a way to boost Xiao Chen's reputation. Make him, the sect master of the outer pugilistic world's demon sect, known to everyone. It's best if you can use his name to hold a group gathering at the airport, then hold a concubine selection. Elder Yen instructed. Ah. Ma Peiqia was stunned. Why? Why, Leader Ma, do you want to know the secrets of the higher-ups? Just do what I tell you to do. Why do you have so many questions? Elder Yan's tone changed immediately, and he warned coldly. Yes. Ma Peiqia's forehead was sweating, and he asked carefully, are we really going to serve that Xiaoqin as the leader? At least in the eyes of outsiders, we must make this leader look glorious. As for whether you listen to him or not, it's up to you. I only care about the results, and nothing else. Elder Yen said. I understand. Ma Peiqia was immediately relieved. He thought that Elder Yen did not want the position of the leader of the devil's sect to be in name only. Since it was the first time, it had to be effective. That was why he asked them to help promote Xiaoqin. As for whether Xiaoqin would really be in power, there was no requirement. This way, the Quishan sect could still do something. Thinking of this, Ma Peiqia was relieved. He thought that he had guessed Elder Yan's intention, so he was relieved. I won't say more. I hope you can make up for your mistakes. Elder Yen urged. Don't worry, Elder Yen. I know what to do. Ma Peiqia said and ended the call. Father, what's going on? Is our backer dissatisfied? Ma Qingting knew some inside information, but not much. She saw that Ma Peiqia's expression changed several times when he answered the phone, so she asked worriedly. It's nothing. He just wants us to help promote Xiaoqin, the leader of the devil's sect, in name only. Ma Peiqia sighed. What? Do you still want to boost Xiaoqin's popularity? Make him live up to his name? Is this for real? Did Elder Yen take the wrong medicine? Ma Qingting was a little surprised after hearing this. This is Elder Yan's request. Ma Qingxiu said helplessly, but I'm just guessing. Maybe it's because this is the first outer pugilistic world demonic sect grand assembly, and Xiaoqin is the first faction leader. If he doesn't establish his power and reputation, even if you become the next faction leader, you won't have the power and deterrence. That's true, but I can't accept it. Ma Dragonfly clenched her fists. Father, this is all caused by Xiaoqin, and we still have to support him. Why should we? Don't worry about that. Although it's to build momentum for him, it's only to make him look better in name. The real control will be in the hands of the organizing committee of the Devil's Sect Grand Meeting, which is the Kuei Mountain Sect, the organizer. Ma Wuzhu explained. That's more like it. We can't let Xiaoqin master his strength. Oh right, I can't wait anymore. Can we kill Xiaoqin and change the election in advance? Ma Dragonfly asked. That's not possible for now. Ma Wuzhu quickly shook his head. Don't complicate things. Elder Yen is already dissatisfied with us. If we do something else, he will definitely blame us. Sigh, that's the only way. I'm not willing to let Xiaoqin have it easy. Ma Qingxiu's face was ferocious. We can attack him in other ways, but we can't kill Xiaoqin. Ma Qingxiu said, all right, rest well. I'll go and arrange this matter. Okay, father. Ma Wuzhu's eyes lit up. After Ma Dragonfly left, he immediately shouted outside, someone come. Young sect master, are you looking for me? A disciple walked in quickly. His name was Ma Jia, and he was Ma Qingxiu's confidant. Ma Jia, you came at the right time. Investigate everything about Xiaoqin. Immediately, I want to see his information. Ma Qingxiu ordered. Yes. Ma Jia responded and didn't dare to ask why. Of course, he also knew that the young sect master suffered in the hands of Xiaoqin, so he quickly went to investigate. The Kuei Mountain sect had already collected information about Xiaoqin after he became the Devil Sect Master. Ma Jia only needed to go and get it, so it didn't take long for him to return and hand the information to Ma Qingxiu. So fast. Ma Qingxiu was a little surprised by Ma Jia's efficiency. He opened the document and read it. After seeing Xiao Chen's background, he was a little surprised. He didn't know as much about Xiao Chen as Ma Qinxiu, and he didn't care about Yao Boang's matter. So when he saw that he had a grudge with Yao Baoang, and that Xiao Chen's fiancé was in the Kuei Mountain sect, he was shocked. He said to Ma Jia, "Xiao Chen's fiancé is in the Kuei Mountain sect? That's great. Bring me to see. I can't humiliate Xiao Chen first, so I'll humiliate his fiancé first." Ah. That's not good. This Qing Menjing is also Yao Boang's fiancé now. Ma Jia said carefully. What about Yao Baoang? He's just an ordinary disciple. Why? Do I need to care about his feelings? Ma Qinxiu was furious. No, of course not. Ma Jia was shocked and quickly said. Let's go. Bring me there. Ma Qinxiu sat up on the bed. Ma Jia had no choice but to bring Ma Qinxiu to the courtyard of the Qing family. The Qing family was currently living there. Seeing two unfamiliar young people walk in, Qing Tianxiu, who was planting flowers at the side, was a little confused. You are, old thing, Qing Menjing is here, right? Where is her room? Ma Qinxiu pointed at Qing Tianxiu and asked arrogantly. You. Qing Tianxiu was furious. He didn't expect this person to be so rude. I don't know. You're not welcome here. How dare you? This is the young master of the Kuei Mountain sect, Ma Qinxiu. You old fart, answer me honestly. Ma Jia jumped out and pointed at Qing Tianxiu. At this moment, Qing Zhongfan, who knew that Ma Yanting had arrived, immediately ran over. When he saw the conversation between Ma Yanting and Qing Tianxiu, he immediately understood the gist of the situation. He hurriedly said, "Young sect master, ignore him. This old thing's brain isn't working well. Just find me if you need anything. And, bring me to Qing Menjing." Ma Qinxiu nodded. Although she didn't know Qing Zhongfan, she saw that he was dressed like a disciple of the Kuei Mountain sect, so she instructed. Yes, this way please. Qing Zhongfan quickly made an inviting gesture and invited Ma Qinxiu and Ma Jia into the courtyard. They walked towards Qing Menjing's room. Qing Zhongfan, you. Qing Tianxiu let out a long sigh. He knew that he had to lower his head when he was under someone else's roof, but he didn't expect Qing Zhongfan to be so shameless. If he knew this would happen, he would have kicked him out of the family. But it was all too late. He shouldn't have been so headstrong and self-opinionated. He shouldn't have listened to Qing Zhongfan. As a result, the Qing family had become like this. The number one family in Songning had become dependent on someone else and treated like a prisoner. Young master, that is Qing Menjing. Qing Zhongfan pointed at Qing Menjing in the room and said. Oh. Ma Qinxiu responded. She kicked the door open and walked in. Who? Qing Menjing was shocked. She was cultivating when she heard a loud noise behind her. She quickly turned around and asked. You. N? Ma Qinxiu originally wanted to scold Qing Menjing, but when he saw Qing Menjing's appearance, he was stunned. There was actually such a beauty. This kind of person was rare even in the outside world of martial arts, and there was one in his own sect. Although Ma Qinxiu wasn't a lecherous person, a gentleman wanted a graceful lady. He wasn't married yet. When he saw the beauty Qing Menjing, he couldn't take his eyes off her, and his lower body began to stir. Ma Jia had followed Ma Qinxiu since he was a child. He immediately saw through the young master's thoughts, so he coughed and said to Qing Menjing, "You are Yao Boang's fiancé, right? Do you know who this person in front of you is?" Qing Menjing frowned. Since these two dared to barge in, and Qing Zhongfan was standing outside, they must be from the Kuei Mountain sect, and their status was definitely not low. However, she didn't want to know them, so she said plainly, "I'm not Yao Boang's fiancé. Do you have any business with me? If not, please leave. Don't disturb my cultivation. This is our Kuei Mountain sect's young master, Ma Qinxiu." Ma Jia pointed at Ma Qinxiu and said, "Our young master is interested in you." If you want your Qing family to have a good life in the Kuei Mountain sect, you can break off your engagement with Yao Baoang and find our young master. Qing Menjing was taken aback, but she also understood that Ma Qingxiu was probably interested in her. She didn't expect her to be so shameless as to directly ask for her. Didn't she care about the feelings of the Kuei Mountain sect disciples? I'm sorry, I'm cultivating the Kuei Mountain sect's special mental cultivation method. I must maintain my virginity, so I don't need your suggestions. Please leave and don't disturb my cultivation, Qing Menjing said plainly. She didn't want to talk nonsense, so she directly pointed out the special nature of her mental cultivation method. She wanted Ma Qingxiu to back off. Really? Ma Qingxiu was taken aback. Previously, the information was mainly about Xiao Chen. Qing Menjing's matter was only briefly mentioned and not written in detail. Now that she heard Qing Menjing's words, she didn't quite believe it. This. Ma Jia wasn't sure either. This seems to be true. At this time, Qing Zhongfan spoke. Ma Qingxiu frowned. Although he was determined to get her, since Qing Menjing said so, he couldn't force her. It would affect his prestige as the young master, so he said, okay, then let's go back first. We'll talk after we investigate. Chapter 784. With that, Ma Dragonfly turned around and strode away. As for the thought of humiliating Qing Menjing, he had long thrown it to the back of his mind. What he wanted the most now was to get Qing Menjing. However, this way, he would also achieve the goal of humiliating Xiao Chen. If he got Xiao Chen's fiancée, wouldn't Xiao Chen die of shame? Ma Jia and Qing Zhongfan didn't dare to say anything else. They quickly followed Ma Dragonfly out of the Qing family's courtyard. Qing Tianqiu looked at them and sighed. When did the Qing family decline to this state? All of this was caused by himself. Qing Tianqiu was filled with regret. However, they were also ill-informed here. They didn't know that Xiao Chen had become the sect master of the outer martial arts demonic sect. Of course, even if they knew, they wouldn't think that Xiao Chen could solve them. After all, a person like Xiao Chen was already a thorn in the side of the Quishan sect. He couldn't even protect himself. How could he save them? It was simply unrealistic. Ma Dragonfly returned to his room, then looked at Qing Zhongfan and said, "Tell me, what exactly did Qing Menjing cultivate? And she's actually a virgin? Isn't she Xiao Chen's fiancée? Haven't they slept together before?" This. I don't think so. Qing Zhongfan shook his head. Previously, Qing Menjing always hated Xiao Chen. Later, I don't know why, but her impression seems to have changed a little. Perhaps it's to fulfill the agreement between the father's generation. Anyway, Qing Menjing should still be a virgin. And, that's not bad. I hate used shoes the most. Ma Dragonfly's heart skipped a beat. Qing Menjing was so beautiful. It would be a pity if she was discarded after one time. However, it wouldn't be nice to say that he, the young sect master of the Quishan sect, spent all his time with a second-hand trash. Now, there was no problem. Since Qing Menjing was the original, there was no harm in keeping her by his side. Young sect master, Qing Menjing's main problem now isn't this. It's her and Yao Baoang. Qing Zhongfan reminded. Humph, what's the matter? Yao Baoang wants to snatch the woman that I've taken a fancy to. Ma Qingting glared at Qing Zhongfan unhappily. Is it me or Yao Baoang who has the final say in the Kuei Mountain sect? Of course, it's up to you, young sect master. Qing Zhongfan secretly cursed himself for being a busybody. If Ma Dragonfly liked Qing Menjing, he could punish Xiao Chen even more. Vice President Nian might be a deterrent to the small fries of the Quishan sect, but she wouldn't be so restrictive to the young sect master. It wouldn't be a problem for them to consummate their marriage on the same day. Get Yao Baoang here. I have something to ask him. Ma Dragonfly waved his hand and gestured for Qing Zhongfan to look for him. Yes. Qing Zhongfan quickly responded and ran to find Yao Baoang. After Qing Zhongfan left, Ma Jia reminded him in a low voice, young sect master, although your words carry enormous weight in the Kushan sect, shouldn't you inform the sect master about this? After all, it's a family matter of the Kushan sect's disciples. I know. Didn't you see that I didn't make a move and asked Yao Baoang to come and talk? Although Ma Dragonfly was domineering, he wasn't a fool. He wouldn't do such a thing. Even if he wanted to do it, he had to find a good reason and excuse so that others wouldn't laugh at him behind his back. That's good. Ma Jia heaved a sigh of relief and waited quietly with Ma Dragonfly for Yao Baoang's arrival. Not long after, Yao Baoang arrived with Qing Zhongfan. The two of them entered the room one after another. Disciple Yao Baoang greets young sect master. Yao Baoang bowed respectfully. Young sect master, Yao Baoang is here, Qing Zhongfan said. You may leave first. There's nothing for you to do here. Ma Dragonfly didn't want Qing Zhongfan to hear what he was going to say next. He was prepared to use threats and promises. Yes. Qing Zhongfan didn't dare to say more and quickly retreated. When only Yao Baoang was left in the room, Ma Dragonfly said, Yao Baoang, I heard that your father was also a disciple of the Kushan sect, but he was assassinated. That's right. He was killed by Shao Chen and his men. This enmity is absolutely irreconcilable. Yao Baoang didn't know why Ma Dragonfly was looking for him. When he heard this, he thought it was to help him take revenge. The sect will compensate your father for the sacrifice he made for the sect. Ma Dragonfly said faintly, so I plan to recommend you to Elder Li and let him accept you as his personal disciple. Ah. Yao Baoang's eyes widened and looked at Ma Dragonfly in disbelief. He didn't believe that such a good thing as a pie falling from the sky would happen to him. Wasn't this too unbelievable? However, after being stunned for a while, he quickly thank you for your guidance, young sect leader. Disciple Yao Baoang is very grateful. In the future, if young sect leader has any errands for me, I will not hesitate to go through fire and water. Yao Baoang was very clear that if he could be accepted as a personal disciple by Elder Li, then his current status would be completely different. In the sect, he could only be said to be an ordinary inner disciple. In the past, when his father was still around, he could be considered to be doing well. Now that little Yao was dead, he was finished. Even the cultivation resources were not as much as before. At this time, Ma Dragonfly was telling him that he could be a personal disciple. It was like a pie falling from the sky. You don't have to go through fire and water in the future. Now, there is something that I need your help with. Ma Dragonfly was very satisfied with Yao Baoang's fanatical attitude and said faintly. Oh. Yao Baoang was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Ma Dragonfly to ask him about something so quickly. However, he still asked, what does young sect leader want me to do? I heard that Qing Menjing is Shao Chen's fiancée. Ma Dragonfly asked faintly. Yes, but she is now my. Yao Baoang was a little puzzled, but he still nodded and prepared to explain. However, before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Ma Dragonfly. You also know that my position as the demon sect leader was stolen by Shao Chen. Now, I hate him to the core, so I plan to take Qing Menjing as a concubine to achieve the goal of humiliating Shao Chen. Ma Dragonfly said. This. Yao Baoang was a little dumbfounded. He didn't expect that Ma Dragonfly actually took a fancy to Qing Menjing, and this should be the small favor she wanted him to help. However, even though he was very happy to be able to become Elder Li's disciple, he was still a little unwilling to sacrifice Qing Menjing. Although lust was a knife above the head, Qing Menjing was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. These days, he was a little infatuated with her. He was not willing to give up just like that. Even if the other party was the young sect leader, he was not willing. This was his fiancée. If he took her away, wouldn't he regret it in the future? However, he didn't want to lose the opportunity to be a disciple of Elder Li. Once he became Elder Li's personal disciple, his future would be limitless. At that time, it might not be impossible for him to become a core disciple of the sect. Yao Baoang was in a dilemma. After thinking for a moment, he had an idea and said, young sect leader, the current situation is not up to me. This matter is not something that the other party will agree to if I say I give up on Qingmenjing. Why? Does she insist that you won't marry her? Ma Qingting raised her eyebrows and asked unhappily. That's not it. She doesn't want to marry me at all. She only has Xiaoqun in her heart, so she is afraid that I will touch her. Now, she is cultivating a mental cultivation method of our Quishan sect that only first ladies can cultivate. It's called the Weaving Girl Heart Sutra. I didn't believe it at the time, but after carefully checking the relevant information of the sect, I found out that this mental cultivation method does exist. Yao Baoang had no choice but to use this tactful method to dispel Ma Qingting's thoughts. After a long time, he reckoned that Ma Qingting would forget about this matter. What Weaving Girl Heart Sutra? Ma Qingting was stunned. So what if she cultivates it or not? At most, she won't cultivate it. That won't do. Women who cultivate this mental cultivation method can't have intercourse with others. Otherwise, once forced, the demonic energy will flow backward and enter the other party's body. The other party will explode and die. Yao Baoang said with a bitter face. He wasn't lying, but he was speaking the truth. These things could be checked. When the time came, Ma Qingting just needed to check. Oh. There's such a thing? Can't I wear a condom? Ma Qingting frowned. Wouldn't that serve as a barrier? Young master, how can a condom withstand the backflow of demonic energy? It would have exploded long ago. Otherwise, do you think I didn't have the thought of forcing myself? But I can only endure it. Yao Baoang sighed. Why is it so troublesome? Can't I find someone to destroy Qingmenjing's cultivation? Ma Qingting also knew that Yao Baoang didn't dare to lie to her, so she asked after thinking about it. This shouldn't be possible. You may not know, but when Vice President Nian of the Outer Martial Arts Guild came forward to mediate this matter, she gave Xiaoqun 3 years to find evidence. If Xiaoqun produced evidence in 3 years, then Qingmenjing would have to leave the Quishan sect. So, I can't go too far. I can do it secretly, but if I make a big move, I will offend the Outer Martial Arts Guild. Yao Baoang said. Oh. Tell me in detail what happened. The previous information didn't mention this in detail, so Ma Qingting didn't know. It's like this. Yao Baoang explained the situation at the time. After Ma Qingting heard it, he was a little unwilling, but he could only give up for the time being. He didn't expect a woman to be so complicated. It was a critical period now. He didn't become the Demon Gate Master, so it wasn't good to openly oppose the Outer Martial Arts Guild. Although he wasn't afraid of them, there was no need to offend them because of a woman. Thinking of this, Ma Qingting said, Okay, I got it, but I will think of a way. You report to Elder Li in a while. Ma Cha, you bring him over. Tell Elder Li that I arranged it. Chapter 785. Yes, thank you, young sect master. Yao Baoang knew that although his words had a certain effect, Ma Qingting had not given up. However, he could only stop her to this extent. If he continued to stop her, not only would Ma Qingting not allow him to become Elder Li's disciple, but she would also find an opportunity to drive him out of the Quishan sect. Ma Qingting waited for Yao Baoang to leave before she began to pace around the room. She accidentally touched the wound on her body and immediately hissed in pain. Qingmenjing, you will be mine sooner or later. He thought to himself. Xiaoqun returned to Songning City in a low-key manner. He did not return to the Xiao family, but to the villa where he lived previously. However, it had become deserted. Standing in the courtyard, Xiaoqun seemed to be in a trance. He felt that Missy and Jean Bebe were in the living room, while Yi Xiaoye was upstairs. A barking sound was heard. Xiaoqun looked down and saw that it was Invincible Dog. Ignoring him, Xiaoqun walked directly into the villa. However, after taking 2 steps, his eyes suddenly fell on the flower bed where Yi Xiaoye had planted the medicinal herbs. What the F***CK, what kind of dog are you? Why are you eating these raw medicinal herbs? Aren't you afraid of getting a stomachache? Xiao Chen looked at the various medicinal herbs that had been gnawed off and was speechless. It seemed that he and Yi Xiaoye had been away for a long time, so Invincible Dog had eaten all the medicinal dregs and potions. This guy had nothing else to eat and started to eat the fresh medicinal herbs in the courtyard. This time, Xiao Chen came back mainly to take the all-crossing golden pill fruit from the drawer. At that time, in the medicinal herb garden behind the resort, Xiao Chen vaguely remembered that the elder heaven ancestor had let him take 2 all-crossing golden pill fruits. At that time, Xiao Chen did not know what it was, so he took it back. However, after exchanging with the smiling Maitreya, he suddenly remembered that he seemed to have collected this thing before. However, on the way back, he asked the elder heaven ancestor about it. The elder heaven ancestor couldn't remember it either. At that time, he had asked him to carry too many things. After giving him instructions and grabbing them, he had put them away when he returned. So, Xiao Chen wanted to confirm whether or not the item really existed. Looking at the bare flower bed, Xiao Chen shook his head. He really wanted to beat this broken dog up. Previously, in order to plant medicinal herbs for Yi Xiaoye in winter, Xiao Chen had spent a lot of effort, but in the end, all of it went into the dog's stomach. Back in his room, Xiao Chen opened the drawer and began to rummage through the medicinal herbs he had brought back from the herb garden, but the drawer was empty. Did I remember wrongly? You didn't put it here? Xiao Chen closed the drawer and began to search in the cabinets and boxes, but he still found nothing. There was no other way. Xiao Chen could only open the drawer again, but he found some clues in the gap of the drawer. There was also some soil on the medicinal herbs, which proved that Xiao Chen should have placed the medicinal herbs here, but where were the medicinal herbs? Could it be that Yi Xiaoye took it away? No, Xiao Chen suddenly remembered that the medicinal dregs in his room were gone. Could it be that it was also eaten by Invincible Dog? After thinking about it, Xiao Chen turned around and left the room. He picked up Invincible Dog, who was walking back and forth with his 5 backs and 6 beasts. Invincible Dog saw Xiao Chen running out angrily, and was a little scared. It subconsciously wanted to run away, and when it ran forward, Xiao Chen almost didn't catch it. Aya, what the F***ck, are you a magician-level dog? Xiao Chen felt that at this moment, the strength that Invincible Dog showed when it ran away was actually at the level of a magician level 1. It was simply unbelievable. Woof woof. Invincible Dog looked at Xiao Chen innocently and barked twice. It was afraid that Xiao Chen would beat it up. Forget it, if you ate it, then you ate it. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. The dog at home could still eat medicine to level up. What kind of world was this? Why did everything change after he fell off the cliff? Woof woof. Invincible Dog saw that Xiao Chen didn't have any intention of blaming it, and immediately became happy. This dog is quite understanding. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, forget it, you stay here and look after the house. I'll go buy some medicinal herbs for you. Woof woof. Invincible Dog seemed to be able to understand and barked twice again. Xiao Chen turned around and got into his car. He left this somewhat sad place and drove towards the Xiao family's compound. He was going to find out whose property this villa belonged to and then buy it. Although he no longer lived here, this place left too many memories for Xiao Chen. It was here that he grew up step by step and obtained his current strength. The Supernatural Investigation Bureau's matter was no secret. Xiao Chen had officially taken over as the deputy director. The previous Yang Jianan was killed by Xiao Chen because of his perverse behavior and evil deeds. Although the official notice only mentioned it lightly, the Chen family of Songning was finished all of a sudden. Chen Huanling couldn't believe this was true. Yang Jianan was actually dead? Killed by Xiao Chen? How was this possible? However, the notice posted in the Warrior Guild couldn't be wrong. Chen Huanling didn't wait for anyone to inform him and dejectedly returned to the Chen family from the Warrior Guild. He knew that from now on, he wouldn't have any say in the Warrior Guild. These opportunistic people would probably hit the Xiao family while they were down in the future. But what could the Chen family do? Chen Huanling, Chen Zhantian, and Chen Wuxian were sitting in the Chen family's conference room. If they had known this would happen, they wouldn't have done it in the first place. Qin Jinpeng secretly fawned on Xiao Yuliang to deal with Xiao Chen was actually acquiesced by the Qin family. Now the Xiao family had become the largest family in Songning, and the Qiao family didn't even dare to fart. The Qing family, the mastermind behind the scenes, had long become yesterday's news. Every time Xiao Chen came back, he would bring changes to the Xiao family. Just like this time, everyone knew that Xiao Chen was the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. The Xiao family was even more crowded. Those aristocratic families and small families all came to visit and congratulate them. However, Xiao Chen didn't have the mood to see any of them. He let his second uncle and grandfather handle all of them. "Brother, you are now the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and the master of the Outer Wulin Devil Sect?" Xiao Xiao looked at Xiao Chen with some surprise. She didn't expect Xiao Chen to achieve so much in just half a year. "It's just some empty identities." Xiao Chen shook his head. "Is there anything going on at home recently?" As soon as Xiao Chen came back, he saw his grandfather and second uncle were busy entertaining guests. So, he could only ask Xiao Xiao about family matters. "It's all right. I just miss you." Xiao Xiao said this and lowered her voice. "Brother, can you not let Yu Xiaochuan stay in our house? What's wrong with him?" Xiao Chen was stunned. "This person seems to have a mental problem. He's a pervert. I always feel that he likes to pretend to be a woman." Xiao Xiao said, "Moreover, he talked to me a few times. I can feel that he seems to have a love for you." This. Xiao Chen actually noticed it. Tang Tang also talked to him about this problem before. Who knows? I guess he may have a tendency to be feminine, but he is also very pitiful. Don't say that he is a pervert. This. Okay. Xiao Xiao didn't say anything else after Xiao Chen said so. "I just feel that it's weird. If that's the case, he might as well go through a sex change operation and become a woman. Why does he have to do this? He's in so much pain, and I feel awkward watching him. Let him be." Xiao Chen shook his head. He also felt that Yu Xiaochuan was becoming more and more feminine, but this was not something he could change. It was probably the sequelae of practicing the chrysanthemum treasure book. "By the way, brother, how many days will you stay at home this time?" Xiao Xiao asked. "I don't know yet. I'll see if there are any tasks. If there are no tasks, I'm going to go to the outer martial arts world and investigate my father's situation." Xiao Chen said, "By the way, I want to ask you something. Your classmate Li Xiener, is she like a normal person at school?" Li Xiener? Xiao Xiao was slightly stunned. She didn't understand why Xiao Chen suddenly asked this question. "Is it the girl who was bullied at the resort last time?" "Yes, that's her." Xiao Chen nodded. She. Xiao Xiao thought for a moment. When she first entered junior high school, she was a very ordinary girl. There was nothing special about her. Her academic performance was average, and her appearance was not outstanding. But later, maybe a girl changes 18 times between childhood and adolescence. Now she has become one of the campus belles of our junior high school. Also, her brain seems to be more useful, and her academic performance has improved a lot. There are many pursuers at school. Our class monitor had a crush on Li Xiener before. Oh, no wonder he stood up for Li Xiener at that time. Xiao Chen nodded. He had a good impression of Xiao Zhao's class monitor. He said, "Is there anything else strange about this Li Xiener?" "That's not it. Li Xiener's personality seems to be a little introverted. She doesn't like to talk very much. She doesn't have any particularly good friends at school." Xiao Xiao thought carefully and then said, "Brother, why did you suddenly ask this? Could it be that you like Li Xiener? How is that possible?" Xiao Chen suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He said, "That Li Xiener seems to have a secret. She is not an ordinary person. How should I say it? She is similar to me. She may also have special abilities." "Ah." When Xiao Xiao heard this, she immediately widened her eyes and looked incredulous. Brother, is what you said true? She is also a superpower user? So powerful? It should be, but don't ask, and don't show your attention to her. Help me secretly pay attention to this person. Xiao Chen said. I understand. Brother, don't worry. Leave it to me. Xiao Xiao said with a smile, I'm the best at acting. I can see that. Xiao Chen smiled. The reason why he paid attention to Li Xianer was that Li Xianer was also a cultivator. She was the only cultivator that Xiao Chen had met since he started his cultivation. Of course, it didn't include those who had died, such as the spirit under the volcanic stone chamber that wanted to possess. By the way, will you sleep with me tonight? Xiao Xiao asked. Chapter 786. Didn't we agree on it that day? We won't make a fuss in the future. You're a grown-up now. At least you have to avoid it. Xiao Chen said. Yeah, didn't we agree that if something were to happen between us, it would have happened when we were young? Why would it wait until now? Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue. Brother, you think too much. I just miss you a little bit. Okay. Xiao Chen had no choice but to nod and agree. As for Tang Tang. I can only wait. Why do I see that you seem to be very reluctant? Xiao Xiao saw Xiao Chen's perfunctory attitude, and suddenly she was a little unhappy. What's wrong? There are many boys in our class who want to sleep with me. You're the only one who slept with me, and you look embarrassed. How can it be the same? Xiao Chen glared at Xiao Xiao. I'm not them. This time I came back, I wanted to accompany Tang Tang. I didn't spend much time with her last time. Ah. Yes, Sister Tang Tang isn't here. She went home. Xiao Xiao said, she said that she had something to do and had to go home. She left you a letter and left. Otherwise, why would you shout you and play with me every day? I'm so annoyed with him. Hey. Tang Tang left? Xiao Chen was stunned. When? Why didn't I know? It was shortly after you left. Xiao Xiao said, she said that you went to perform a task. She was afraid to disturb you, so she didn't tell you and left you a letter. We didn't ask too much. She said that she had some private matters and left. So. Xiao Chen frowned. Tang Tang said that she wanted to break up with him. Although they talked it out later, Xiao Chen still felt that Tang Tang seemed to have something on her mind. He didn't expect her to leave. But didn't she say that she was Mrs. Yu? Why did she leave you Xiao Chuan here? Xiao Xiao was annoyed. Yes, the letter is in Sister Tang Tang's room. We didn't touch it. Xiao Xiao said, I'll accompany you to get it later. All right. Xiao Chen nodded and took out his mobile phone. He dialed Tang Tang's number, but the phone was turned off. It seemed that Tang Tang didn't turn it on. Xiao Chen's heart was slightly gloomy. Did she really want to break up with him and avoid him? Thinking of this, Xiao Chen could not help but quicken his pace. Xiao Xiao pouted and followed behind. She felt that Xiao Chen cared a lot about these girls, except for her. They came to Tang Tang's previous villa one after another. Yu Xiaochuan was sitting in the yard practicing martial arts. When he saw Xiao Chen coming back, his eyes suddenly lit up and he ran over quickly. Brother Xiao, you're back. Yes. Xiao Chen nodded and said, are you used to it? It's good. It's better than my own home. Yu Xiaochuan said. Xiao Chen was a little speechless. He wanted to change the topic and then let Yu Xiaochuan go back to his own home, but he didn't expect that this guy's words made Xiao Chen speechless. He couldn't continue the conversation. He couldn't force him to leave, right? Moreover, Yu Xiaochuan had helped him a lot in the past. Without Yu Xiaochuan, he didn't know if he could deal with the Quishan sect. So Xiao Chen could only say, that's good. Is there anything on your Yu family's side? Yu family? It's good. Now they are fully cooperating with the Xiao family. Yu Xiaochuan said, "In fact, I don't need to do these things. I just need to shock them. Now they don't dare to be interested in those business matters. They just want to be a quiet little girl, handsome man." Oh. Xiaochen didn't continue this topic. Did Tang Tang leave? Yes, she said she would go back and have a look. I didn't ask for details. Yu Xiaochuan didn't seem to care much about Tang Tang's affairs. She left a letter in her bedroom. "We don't have the key." She said. "You have it." "Me?" "Oh." Xiaochen didn't have the key either, but Tang Tang probably meant that Xiaochen could open the door without the key. He walked over and opened the door of Tang Tang's room. The room was very clean, and the furnishings were almost the same as the previous rented house. There was a letter on the desk. Xiaochen picked it up and saw the words, "For Xiaochen," on it. Xiaochen tore open the envelope. Inside was a plain and unadorned letter paper. On it was written, "Xiaochen, I have thought about it carefully. We'd better separate. I don't think we are very suitable for each other. I said that you have changed, but it may be that I have changed. You can say that I am selfish or heartless. Anyway, I want to leave. Don't look for me. I won't let you find me. Maybe one day, I will come back to you after thinking it through. But not now. You don't have to be sad. You have so many girlfriends now. You don't need me. Well, even if we can't be lovers, we are still good buddies. Tang Tang." The date of the letter was just a few days after Xiaochen left. The letter was very short, but the message was very clear. Xiaochen sighed. In fact, he had guessed this result before he opened the letter. Tang Tang still wanted to separate from him. Although Xiaochen couldn't figure out the reason, he still respected Tang Tang's choice. After all, Tang Tang wanted to end this relationship, so there was no need for him to pester her. But Xiaochen still wanted to talk to Tang Tang face to face. He wanted to know the reason. Even if he acquiesced to Tang Tang's choice, he also wanted to know if there was any other situation. "I'm going out," Xiaochen said to Yu Xiaochuan and Xiao Xiao. "You are going to see Tang Tang?" Xiao Xiao asked. "Yes, I'm going to the Tang family." Xiaochen nodded. "Brother Xiao, let me go with you," Yu Xiaochuan said. "Okay." Thinking that Yu Xiaochuan was the legitimate son-in-law of the Tang family, what would happen if he went? Although Xiaochen wasn't afraid of anything now, he still had to save some face for the Tang family. "I want to go too," Xiao Xiao said. "Then let's go together." Xiaochen wasn't going to fight, so he agreed to go together. After leaving the Xiao family, they went all the way to the Tang family. Outside the Tang family's door, they saw Yu Xiaochuan in the car, so they didn't stop him. They smoothly arrived at the Tang family's parking lot. However, as soon as the three of them got out of the car, the Tang family rushed over. Now, both Yu Xiaochuan and Xiaochen were hot figures in Songming. The Tang family couldn't wait to curry favor with them. "Huh, Xiaochuan and Xiaochen are here." Master Tang walked over with a smile. Xiaochen looked at Master Tang and felt a little strange. Why is this guy's temperament exactly the same as Yu Xiaochuan's, and why does he speak like a girl? "Hello, Grandpa Tang. We're here to see Tang Tang," Xiaochen said. "Tang Tang?" Master Tang was stunned. He looked at Xiaochen strangely and said, "Didn't she tell you? She said she wanted to go abroad to relax. She's traveling, so she's not at home." "Oh. Tang Tang told you that before?" Xiaochen was stunned. It seemed that Tang Tang didn't go home. "Yes, she said she wanted to go abroad to relax. After all, she is now Mrs. Yu, and she is still living with the Xiao family. We can't interfere, so we didn't say anything." Master Tang nodded. "Did something happen?" "It's nothing. I went out earlier, so I don't know much about the situation." Xiaochen shook his head. "I'm just here to confirm this." "Oh, then please come in." I'll get someone to bring some refreshments and fruits. Master Tang said. Xiao Chen, I heard that you are now the Deputy Director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Yes. One look at Master Tang and Xiao Chen and he knew that this guy wanted to curry favor with him. You're also the sect leader of the demon sect in the outer martial world? Master Tang continued to ask. It's just a title, Xiao Chen said lightly. Oh, haha, then the Tang family will be in Xiao Chen's care from now on. What Master Tang was most worried about was that the mental cultivation method he practiced would be exposed. The Tang family's main branch, the Zhenwu Tang family and the outer martial world's Tang family, were both orthodox sections. Once they found out that Master Tang practiced the chrysanthemum treasured book, they would definitely be at odds with each other. When that happened, it wouldn't be easy for Master Tang to rely on the demon sect. Now that he had Xiao Chen's recommendation, it would be much easier. So, he wanted to take this opportunity to build a good relationship with Xiao Chen. Actually, he knew that Tang Tang and Xiao Chen had an unclear relationship. He also knew that Yu Xiaochuan was just a nominal grandson-in-law. Seeing how this guy was fawning over Xiao Chen even more than himself, Tang Tang and Xiao Chen had probably always been together and he was just a shield. Thinking of this, Master Tang felt that Xiao Chen should at least give him some face. So, he asked him to take care of Tang Tang. Oh, there's definitely no problem. Although Xiao Chen didn't have a good impression of the Tang family, when he thought of the days he spent together with Tang Tang, taking care of the Tang family was something he could do. That's good, that's good. Master Tang felt relieved and invited the three of them into the house. I won't be sitting. It's getting late, we'll be heading back first. Xiao Chen didn't see Tang Tang, so his interest waned and he didn't want to pretend to be polite anymore. That. Okay then. Seeing that Xiao Chen didn't have much interest, Master Tang thought that he and Tang Tang had quarreled. He thought that Tang Tang didn't know any better. With Xiao Chen's current status, why would he quarrel? Thinking up to this point, he said, Young Master Xiao, then I won't hold you back. If you have time, come visit our Tang family more often. Actually, compared to Xiaochuan, your relationship with the Tang family is closer. After speaking, Master Tang made a, you know what I mean, expression. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Yu Xiaochuan didn't mind at all. Seeing that Xiao Chen had left, he couldn't be bothered to say goodbye to Master Tang and directly followed behind Xiao Chen. Previously, he was afraid that it would affect the Yu family and his identity. But now, he only wanted to be together with Xiao Chen. Since Xiao Chen was part of the demon sect, then he would naturally belong to the demon sect from now on. After speaking, the three of them boarded the car and left the Tang family home. Along the way, Xiao Chen's mood was a bit gloomy. It seemed that Tang Tang was indeed trying to avoid him. But, where did Tang Tang go? From Xiao Chen's perspective, Tang Tang shouldn't be away for too long. Firstly, she needed to go to school. Secondly, she didn't have any money on her. Chapter 787. At night, in the inner martial arts world. This place was also commonly known as the small ancient martial arts world. This was a paradise, a place where there were only real martial arts sections. The sects here all claimed to be the orthodox sects of the martial arts world. They were sects that had been passed down from ancient times. They were the true kings of the martial arts world that had evolved from the previous ancient sections. The Awakening sect was a powerful sect in the inner martial arts world. It was also one of the major demonic sects in the inner martial arts world. In the Awakening sect, a sect meeting was currently being held. Sitting at the conference table was the sect master of the Awakening sect, Situ Qitian. In fact, the Awakening sect was not called the Awakening sect before. It was just that the current sect master was more powerful, and there were also some historical reasons. Situ Qitian did not get along with the previous sect master, and his position was almost usurped. Therefore, after taking over the position of sect master, he changed the name of the sect to the Awakening sect. He was also an existence that belonged to the founder of the sect. Sitting around him were the deputy sect master, Wang Duanli, Elder Yen Mind, and another elder of the awakening sect called Ma Ipi. Elder Yen, look at the Kuei Mountain sect that you chose. What kind of thing is it to be so incompetent? Situ Qitian was very annoyed. The Kuei Mountain sect kept getting into trouble. Ever since Elder Yen chose it as the spokesperson of the outer martial arts world, it had almost never done anything of note. This Elder Yen was also very guilty and apologetic. In the previous inspection, Ma Ipi was a very shrewd person. I didn't expect him to be so incompetent. He couldn't even handle such a small matter. He's a selfish, overcautious man. Elder Ma Ipi spoke. He and Elder Yen had always been at odds with each other. They both wanted to compete for the position of Great Elder, so he would not let go of this opportunity to attack Elder Yen. According to my investigation, this person is useless. Alright, since we've already used the Kuei Mountain sect, let's not talk after the fact. Situ Qitian frowned and waved his hand. Let's talk about what we should do this time. The position of the outer martial arts world sect master has been taken by Xiao Chen. Do you think the guy that we want to lure out will come out? It should be, right? Elder Yen said, it has nothing to do with who is the sect master. As long as someone is the sect master, it will be fine. But don't forget, Xiao Chen is that Chang woman's son. Situ Qitian was a little worried. What if he doesn't come out because of this? Elder Yen lowered his head. Since things have come to this, we can only hope for the best. At this moment, Wang Duanli spoke up. He was Elder Yan's brother-in-law, so he naturally stood on Elder Yan's side and helped him out. I feel that the one with the surname Chang probably won't say anything about this, but it's hard to say for that person. He might even come out. Yes, that's the only way. Situ Qitian nodded. Alright. Elder Yen, make arrangements to build momentum for that Xiao Chen. Let everyone in the inner martial world know that the outer martial world has a demon sect master. I understand. Elder Yen heaved a sigh of relief. This was the same as his original intention. Needless to say, he had already instructed the Quishan sect to do so. Nothing happened that night. Although Xiao Xiao wanted Xiao Chen to go to bed and hug her to sleep, her wish did not come true. Xiao Chen just sat cross-legged and cultivated at the side. Naturally, Xiao Xiao could not do anything about it. The next morning, Xiao Xiao had to go to school. Since school had started, Xiao Chen had nothing to do, so he drove to number 2 high school with Xiao Xiao. He had not been to school for a long time. Tang Tang was gone, Qing Menjing was gone, and Jean Bebe was gone. He really did not know what else he could do in school. The familiar school, the familiar building, and the familiar classroom. When Xiao Chen walked into the classroom, he found that there was a new classmate next to his seat. Perhaps because Tang Tang and Song Huawu had dropped out, the seat was empty, so it was arranged for the new transfer student. Fortunately, Xiao Chen's seat was empty. He walked over and sat down. The new desk mate was a boy. He was dressed fashionably, but judging from the brand he was wearing, he should be from a rich family. However, Xiao Chen did not want to pay attention to this. He was just here to reminisce. Where are you from? Why are you sitting here? Xiao Chen did not want to pay attention to the boy, but the boy took the initiative to speak. His tone was not friendly, and it was a little questioning. I'm sitting in this seat. Xiao Chen was not angry. After all, the boy did not know him. From another perspective, if a stranger sat next to him, Xiao Chen would also ask, something happened at home, so I didn't come to school. Now I'm back. Oh. The boy suddenly frowned and said, I don't care if you were sitting in this seat before. I, Tsin Wuming, am not used to sitting at the same table with others. Then you can sit at another table. Xiao Chen was also angry. He wanted to explain to this person, but he did not expect this person to be so overbearing. If he did not like to sit at the same table with others, then he should not come to school. He could have his own table in a restaurant. You. Tsin Wuming's face changed instantly. He looked at Xiao Chen with some resentment, as if he was about to get angry, but after thinking about it, he said, I don't want to fight. If you don't want to get hurt, you should find a place to sit. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. Oh, then don't be polite. Xiao Chen was too lazy to pay attention to him. You. If Cin Wuming did not care about his identity and did not want to attack an ordinary person, he would have already thrown Xiao Chen out of the window. But at this time, he just saw Jing Xiaokuan coming in from the classroom door. He immediately shouted, Jing Xiaokuan, you came at the right time. Let this person sit on the side. Don't be an eyesore next to me. Ah. Jing Xiaokuan was stunned, but then he saw Xiao Chen next to Cin Wuming. There was a flash of joy in his heart, but then it became a little sad. He walked over and said to Cin Wuming, Brother Cin, this is my good friend, Xiao Chen. He is also a student in this class. He is sitting here. He did not come to school before because he had something to do. Didn't you hear me talking to you? Cin Wuming frowned. He grabbed Jing Xiaokuan's collar angrily and pulled him over. Do my words not work? Okay. Jing Xiaokuan looked bitter. He turned his head and said to Xiao Chen in a low voice, Xiao Chen, where did this person come from? Xiao Chen did not want to put Jing Xiaokuan in a difficult position, so he asked directly. He won't understand even if I tell him. Don't explain, just directly take him over there. Cin Wuming obviously heard Xiao Chen's words and said while pointing not far away. Jing Xiaokuan, this person escaped from the mental hospital, right? Xiao Chen was a little annoyed this time. He turned his head and grabbed Cin Wuming's hair, lifting him up. The originally handsome hair was pulled into a chicken's nest by Xiao Chen. You are a martial artist? Cin Wuming was shocked and angry. He did not expect Xiao Chen to dare to hit him. What surprised him even more was that Xiao Chen was a martial artist, because ordinary people would not be able to lift him up with one hand so easily. Why do you care if I'm a martial artist or not? Xiao Chen pressed Cin Wuming down on his seat. If you want to study here properly, then stop. If you don't want to go to school, then scram. No one will wait on you. This. Jing Xiaokuan stood aside, feeling a little awkward. He did not dare to offend Cin Wuming, but he could not offend Xiao Chen because of this, so he could only watch from the side. Jing Xiaokuan, who is this person? Cin Wuming was furious. Kid, I don't care if you're a martial artist or not. I don't care which path you're on. After class, we'll go out and practice, no matter what. Brother Cin, this is Xiao Chen, the eldest young master of the Xiao family in Songming. Jing Xiaokuan was afraid that the conflict would escalate, so he could only explain, Xiao Chen, this is Cin Wuming, the eldest young master of the Cin family in Jinwu. The Cin family is very famous in the nearby Nanhua city. Recently, they've been expanding their business in Songming, and they're cooperating with the Jing family. Xiao Chen nodded and said, since you're working with the Jing clan and Jing Xiaokuan, I won't touch you. However, don't make things difficult for me. Let's leave it at that. After that, Xiao Chen returned to his seat and ignored Cin Wuming. A young master from an ordinary family dares to act arrogant in front of me? When Cin Wuming heard that Xiao Chen was only from an ordinary family, and yet he dared to act arrogantly in front of him, a young master from a Jinwu family, he was instantly enraged. Fine, if you don't want your family to be destroyed because of you, apologize to me immediately and get lost in a corner. Then, I'll consider letting you go. Otherwise, you and your family will be finished. Jing Xiaokuan, is this the person your Jing family is cooperating with? Is there something wrong with his brain? Xiao Chen looked at Cin Wuming, who was acting like a weirdo. This guy really thinks too highly of himself. Fine, let's see if you can destroy one of my Xiao family. This. Jing Xiaokuan didn't know what to say. Of course, although he knew that Xiao Chen and the Xiao family had been very powerful recently, it was only based on some previous events. He didn't know that Xiao Chen had recently been elected as the deputy director of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and the master of the Dark Sect. The Jing family was no longer an aristocratic family, so they weren't very well informed. As for Zhen Wuming, these things had little to do with him, so he naturally didn't investigate in advance. Jing Xiaoquan, you don't have to persuade me. Doesn't he want the Xiao family to be destroyed? Fine, after we get our hands on it, we'll join forces and attack the Xiao family's business. I'll make him cry. Zhen Wuming said proudly. This. Jing Xiaoquan didn't know how to answer. I was worried that I couldn't find a breakthrough after coming to Songming. I didn't know where to start. Xiao Chen, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Zhen Wuming looked at Xiao Chen and smiled. I wanted to beat you up before, but now, I won't. You're finished. Chapter 788. Xiao Chen looked at Zhen Wuming speechlessly. Then you go ahead and stop them. I'm waiting. You really won't cry until you see the coffin. You don't know how to spell the word death. Zhen Wuming sneered. The Zhen family wanted to enter Songming City, but most of the businesses here were done by other families. It wouldn't be good to intervene rashly. It would be bad if the local aristocratic families joined forces to fight back. The Zheng family's business was very limited. They only had the martial arts center and the security business. Even these two businesses were snatched by the new aristocratic Lu family. Therefore, the Zhen family came here and couldn't open up the situation. It wasn't good to intervene in any industry. In Zhen Wuming's view, now that Xiao Chen was a fool, the Zhen family would have a good reason to make a move on the Xiao family's industry. Even if other families saw it, they would think it was a personal grudge and wouldn't resist together. After all, Xiao Chen had offended Zhen Wuming and caused this situation. It was a good opportunity to establish the Zhen family's prestige. Xiao Chen looked at Zhen Wuming. He seemed to be very arrogant. He didn't seem to have heard of the Zhen family of the true martial arts academy. Of course, it could be that he was ignorant and inexperienced. But no matter what, Songming City was Xiao Chen's main battlefield base. If an outsider was arrogant, he would be ashamed. Do as you wish. After you're done bragging, you can stop and go to class. You see, the bell is ringing. Xiao Chen pointed to the wall clock in front of the classroom and said, I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. I have to study. As he spoke, Xiao Chen took out the revision questions and looked at them. He was planning to take the college entrance exam himself. He had nothing to do anyway. The job in the Supernatural Investigation Bureau was basically just a temporary job. He still yearned for an ordinary life. Maybe he could meet Tang Tang again when he was in college. Xiao Chen remembered that the purpose of Tang Tang's hard work was to enter a good college, so Xiao Chen felt that he should be able to meet her. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen felt slightly better. In fact, he was a very easily satisfied person. He really didn't like his current life. Of course, he didn't like his previous life either. Not long ago, he really wanted to be a real young master of a family. He wanted to be carefree, pick up girls, play with cars, and then show off with his little brothers. How wonderful was that life? However, in the past, that kind of life of pretending to be a dandy was not the slightest bit of pleasure. All day long, he was on guard against that. Now that he had the strength, he still had to run around for all kinds of things. However, since he had already embarked on this path, there was no backing down. Moreover, his father was still missing. How could he give up so easily? In the past, he didn't have the ability, so he didn't search for them in order to protect himself. Now that he had the ability, he had the responsibility to do more. Zhen Wuming kept making phone calls on the side. He didn't have any intention of avoiding Xiao Chen. He was instructing the Zhen family to investigate what businesses the Xiao family had, and then carry out the corresponding attacks. Of course, the target of the alliance was naturally the Zheng family. During this period of time, the Zhen family's movements were very big. They quietly merged and acquired many companies in Songming City. However, because they were worried about the thoughts of other families, they didn't dare to make a big move. Now that the opportunity had come, these companies could operate at high speed. However, Xiao Chen was too lazy to listen to what he was saying at the side. He didn't need to listen. Brother Tsun, why don't we just forget about it? The Xiao family's influence in Songning City is very big. If we do this. Jing Xiaokuan watched anxiously from the side. He didn't want to go against Xiao Chen, and he didn't think that the Tsun family could do anything to the Xiao family in Songning City. Maybe we'll be at a disadvantage when the time comes. Forget about it. Who the F***ck are you? Who are you? Tsun Wuming was commanding the formation very happily. Suddenly, he was splashed with cold water by Jing Xiaokuan. He suddenly became furious. He slapped Jing Xiaokuan's face and scolded, "Are you a spy of the Xiao family?" Jing Xiaokuan covered his face. His eyes were full of grievances, but he sighed helplessly. He really didn't dare to do anything to Tsun Wuming, and he had to follow his wishes. Who let the Tsun family be so strong? Moreover, this cooperation was led by the Tsun family, so Jing Xiaokuan couldn't get a word in. He could only swallow his anger when he was hit. To be honest, originally, it was a very glorious thing for the Jing family to be chosen to cooperate with the Tsun family as the spokesperson family of the Tsun family in Songning City. However, now it became that the Tsun family was in charge of everything. The Jing family, the local tyrant, had completely become a hired thug and errand boy without any decision-making power. This made Jing Xiaokuan very helpless. However, the Jing family had already boarded the Tsun family's pirate ship. It was absolutely impossible to get down now, so Jing Xiaokuan could only endure. He lowered his head and didn't dare to say anything. Xiao Chen looked at Jing Xiaokuan and felt a little strange. In his impression, Jing Xiaokuan was not such a person who swallowed his anger. But now it seemed that in front of this Tsun Wuming, he was very timid. However, since Jing Xiaokuan didn't say anything, Xiao Chen naturally wouldn't say much. He hadn't fully figured out the relationship between the two, so it wasn't good for Xiao Chen to speak up. What if the Zheng family deliberately compromised? If he made a move, wouldn't it destroy the cooperation between the two families? In the market, those companies that were acquired by the Tsun family began to act together. The companies targeted were, of course, the companies under the name of the Xiao family. Recently, the Xiao family's business expansion had been very rapid, and it had been involved in many industries. First of all, it was the chain stores. The Xiao family stores were generally concentrated in the major business districts of Songning City. There were inevitably other stores in the business district. Originally, everyone had been living in harmony. Although there were often activities and competitions, there were rarely that kind of loss-making price war. After all, everyone was trying to make money, not to attack the opponent. This kind of self-destructive method wouldn't be used easily. However, today, the supermarkets and shopping malls near the Xiao family store seemed to be crazy. They began to crazily reduce prices and promote prices. The prices were already cheaper than the cost price, and it wasn't just a little bit cheaper. This suicidal sales method attracted a lot of customers all of a sudden. Almost all the customers in the business district gave up on the Xiao family store and flocked to the Tsun family store. Although Tsun Wuming didn't make the decision in the Tsun family, his proposal was quickly approved by his father. If they didn't know how to cherish this kind of good opportunity, then they were really stupid. The Tsun family looked at the popular photos of the store and were very happy. They also forwarded a lot of them to Tsun Wuming. Hee, kid, it's too late now even if you kowtow to me and apologize. Look at the Xiao family store. TSK, it's really deserted. Tsun Wuming pushed his phone in front of Xiao Chen and said. Oh. Xiao Chen glanced at it. He wasn't interested in these things, and he wasn't good at doing business. Although the Xiao family wasn't good at it, didn't they have other things they were good at? The Xia family and the Xiao family were in a cooperative relationship now. Emperor Xia was an expert in business operations. It was impossible that he didn't know how to deal with it. Sure enough, after Emperor Xia found out about this, he didn't panic at all. Ever since the Xia family cooperated with the Xiao family, the one thing they didn't lack the most was money. Since the Tsun family store was selling goods, Emperor Xie simply gave all the store employees a holiday and let them go to the Tsin family store to buy as much as they could. After buying, they would directly send it to the Shao family store. Xing family. The person in charge of Songming was the Tsin family's young master, Tsin Jijin. He looked at the reports from his subordinates and was immediately very happy. Previously, because the Shao family store was a veteran, they weren't able to attract too many customers. The business could only be considered moderate. In the end, it was so popular that it almost couldn't hold people anymore. Director Tsin, Ma Duanlu's store is in urgent need of inventory. There's basically nothing left. Director Tsin, Huiqian Castle's store is in urgent need of inventory. The shelves are already empty. Tsin Jijin wasn't nervous at all when the store was in urgent need of inventory. Instead, he said in a rich and imposing manner, "Contact the suppliers and let them deliver the goods. This is a good thing. It means that our store is popular. These customers came here to take advantage of us. Even if we revert to the original price in the future, it will still be popular if we do some activities frequently." Losing money at the opening of a business was a common method used by many businesses. However, it was all based on precise planning and arrangements. There wouldn't be too big of a mistake. However, there was no such thing as the Tsin family's decision. The Tsin family didn't calculate the cost and profit at all. It was completely impulsive. Tsin Wuming was impulsive, but Tsin Jijin was muddle-headed because he wanted to occupy the market as soon as possible. Although he was the Tsin family's young master, he was only an heir. It was hard to say whether there would be unforeseen events in the future. He had been in Songming for more than a month, but he still hadn't opened up a business. Songming family's deep roots made it impossible for him to get a foot in. How could he not be anxious when he finally found an opportunity? Yes. The assistant quickly responded. He originally wanted to say that they would lose money if this continued, but when he saw Tsin Jijin's high-spirited appearance, he didn't dare to say more. Of course, the store was only one of them. There were other industries, such as the hotel industry. In this industry, Tsin Jijin wasn't stupid. Normal hotels wouldn't offer discounts. However, all the hotels that were close to the Shao family's hotel all offered a 10% discount. In order to attract customers, they could apply for an annual card, which meant that they could stay at a 10% discount for a year. This attracted many customers. After all, the banners were out. As long as the customers weren't blind, they would be able to see it. After Emperor Xie received the report from his subordinate, he didn't pay much attention to it. He directly told the waiters who had nothing to do to go to the hotel next door to apply for a 10% discount annual card. In an instant, all the Tsin family's hotels were full. Although the customers who didn't stay saw the discount, they could only stay at the Shao family's hotel next door. Chapter 789. As a result, those who originally wanted to stay in the Tsin family's hotel stayed in the Shao family's hotel because there were no more rooms available. Originally, it wasn't a tourist season after the new year, so the hotel occupancy rate was only about 50%. But now, because of the Tsin family, it was close to 100%. This meant that after deducting the Tsin family's 10% discount, it was still equivalent to the Shao family's 10% discount. Not only was the income much higher than usual, but it also made the Tsin family's hotel suffer a loss. It was just that the Tsin family hadn't discovered this problem yet. The assistant in charge of the hotel was so happy that he couldn't close his mouth when he saw that the hotels were full and that many membership cards had been applied. In fact, for ordinary people, even if they had a 10% discount annual membership card, they might not stay here every day. Who would be so free to stay in the hotel all day? Even if it was a 10% discount, it would still cost money, right? Therefore, according to the probability calculation, the real card holders would use it dozens of times a year. Who would have thought that these card holders were all disguised waiters of the Shao family's hotel? Tsin Jijin looked at the report in his hand and instantly felt that he was going to completely dominate the Songming shopping mall. It was the same for several other industries. As long as he had a promotion or discount, Emperor Xie would send people to deal with it. Emperor Xie was also a little speechless about this kind of opponent. Acting recklessly without considering the consequences and costs, it actually benefited the Xiao family. As for the store, it soon became difficult to make ends meet. After all, the inventory of the manufacturer's agent was also limited. After being delivered, it was sold out. After a few rounds, the inventory was also gone. Even if they urgently transferred the goods from the manufacturer, it couldn't be done in a day. Without a choice, the Emptitson family store could only be closed first, and the previously deserted Xiao family store became popular again. Although they were all normal activities, such as a free laundry detergent for 200 yuan and a free napkin for 300 yuan, they were still more discounted than usual. Therefore, many customers went to the Xiao family store after seeing that the Tsin family store was closed. They didn't want to waste their trip and went to the Xiao family store. Most of the goods in the Xiao family store were bought from the Tsin family store at a low price. Even if there was a promotion, they still made a lot of money. The number of customers was more than double than usual. Tsin Wuming happily showed Xiao Chen the good news his father was sending him on WeChat. "Are you out of your mind? What does this have to do with me?" Xiao Chen said angrily, "Don't disturb my class. If you keep talking, I'll throw you out." "You." "Fine, I'll tell you what, we're in a classroom, and I don't want to fight. But just you wait, I'll let you have a good time when your Xiao family is destroyed tomorrow." Tsin Wuming sneered. It was not that he did not dare to fight Xiao Chen, but he was not sure of Xiao Chen's strength. After all, he was only a martial artist with stage 8 inner force. If Xiao Chen was on par with him, he might not have the upper hand in a fight. Therefore, he planned to find a chance to ask Jing Xiaokuan about Xiao Chen's strength, but he was embarrassed to ask in front of Xiao Chen. It seemed like he was afraid of Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen did not pay attention to Tsin Wuming until school ended at noon. Tsin Wuming proudly pointed at Jing Xiaokuan and said, "Let's go. Let's have a meal to celebrate. Today, the Tsin family's business will enter Songming and suppress the Xiao family." At noon, Xiao Chen wanted to find Jing Xiaokuan to ask about the situation, but Tsin Wuming called Jing Xiaokuan away first. He had no choice. Lu Zhenming just happened to come over. "Boss Xiao Chen, you're back. Skinny monkey and I missed you so much when you weren't here." Lu Zhenming said, "I'll treat you to a meal." "Oh, let's go to the cafeteria." Xiao Chen smiled and said, "Do you remember the first time you treated me to a meal?" "Huh, don't mention it. I was young and ignorant at that time. I offended you." Lu Zhenming smiled and walked out of the classroom with Xiao Chen. Skinny Monkey and Ma Gangmen followed behind like two bodyguards. However, Xiao Chen also noticed that it seemed that Lu Zhenming was forcing a smile. Although he looked happy, he seemed to have something on his mind. Xiao Chen couldn't help but wonder, "Little Lu, what's wrong with you? Not very happy? Is it because Qing Menjing left, so you don't have a goddess to look at?" "Ugh. Boss Xiao Chen, don't make fun of me. Menjing is your woman. How can I dare to think about it?" Lu Zhenming scratched his head awkwardly and lowered his voice. The Lu family's businesses are now almost all being counterattacked by the Jing family. Martial arts hall, security company, fitness center. Now the business is greatly reduced. Oh? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned and immediately thought of something. Because of that Tsin Wuming? Yeah, even our family's consecrator doesn't dare to provoke the Tsin family. It's a real martial arts family. It's not on the same level as our ordinary families. Lu Zhenming sighed. "I didn't want to say this at first. I also know that you have a good relationship with Jing Xiaokuan, so even if I said it, you wouldn't help me. It would make things difficult for you, but, AI." Xiao Chen nodded and said, "I'll see the situation first. It seems that Jing Xiaokuan has a bit of a compromise. I don't think this is his intention." Previously, Jing Xiaokuan's expression and posture didn't seem to be willing. So, Xiao Chen planned to observe him again. He could also get some information from Lu Zhenming. I don't know whether it's his intention or not. Anyway, it's the Jing family's intention to cooperate with the Tsin family, and the Jing family also got the corresponding benefits. Lu Zhenming said. When they just entered Songming, they didn't dare to touch other businesses. They could only attack the underworld businesses. Because the Zheng family and our Lu family have grievances, it's reasonable to make a move. The other families won't intervene. After all, the Tsin family didn't touch their territory. Oh, I was wondering why they were so happy to attack the Xiao family today. Xiao Chen nodded. It seems that they can't wait. What? They attacked the Xiao family? Lu Zhenming was shocked. Yeah, but don't worry. I don't care about a small Tsin family. Xiao Chen said faintly. Moreover, I don't need to do anything at all. They are no match for the Xia family with normal business means. But, we still have to guard against their dirty tricks. Lu Zhenming said. The Tsin family is quite sinister. I heard that they have some connections with the Wulin families. I'm afraid, it's okay. If it was in the past, Xiao Chen would be scared when he heard the words Wulin. Not to mention the Wulin, Xiao Chen didn't dare to offend the Wulin families easily. But now, well, since boss Xiao Chen is confident, then I won't say more. Let's go eat. Lu Zhenming said. Outside the school, in a private room of a luxury restaurant, Sun Wu was eating a lamb chop elegantly. He said to Jing Xiaokuan, "You eat too. Don't act like a servant." Yes. Jing Xiaokuan thought, am I not a servant? I don't have any human rights in front of you. You scold me all day and treat me like a lackey. I've had enough. But he didn't dare to say it. The Tsin family could destroy the Zheng family in minutes. Although his father didn't say it clearly, Jing Xiaokuan could see that his father regretted working with the Tsin family. Oh yeah, let me ask you. What's the strength of that Xiao Chen? He seems to be okay? Tsin Wu asked faintly while picking his teeth. I'm not very sure, but I heard that he's quite powerful. He seems to be close to the level of a devil master. Jing Xiaokuan actually didn't know. The last news he heard was that Xiao Chen fought with the devil master of the Quishan sect, but he didn't know what his strength was. What? He's a devil master? Tsin Wu suddenly widened his eyes after hearing it. He looked incredulous. Are you kidding me? A small ordinary family can have a devil master? I'm not very sure about this. Xiao Chen hasn't come to school for a while. I heard it before. Jing Xiaokuan smiled bitterly. At that time, it seemed that there was a devil master from the outer martial arts sects who went to look for trouble with Xiao Chen, and then, the outer martial arts sects looked for trouble with Xiao Chen? Stop bullsh asterisk ting. Okay, no need to say more. Tsin Wu immediately waved his hand after hearing it. A finished lamb chop bone was directly thrown at Jing Xiaokuan's face. His throw was imbued with inner strength, and Jing Xiaokuan was in so much pain that he almost cried. I know what you're thinking. Don't think that I don't know that you have a good relationship with that Xiao Chen. Don't you just want to promote him? You want me to think that he's strong and not go against him, right? Sun Wu Ming sneered. Jing Xiaokuan, you're too naive. Think about it. If he's a devil master, then how can the Xiao family still be an ordinary family? Didn't they already apply to be promoted to a true martial arts family? Do you think that's possible? No. I heard that he and a few other friends chased the people from the Quishan sect away. Jing Xiaokuan said. In fact, he only heard it from others. The Quishan sect wouldn't say the real truth, and the Xiao family naturally wouldn't say it either. He only heard a small part of it. He didn't even know if there were any deaths. That's too funny. Sun Wu Ming sneered. Alright, you said that he's a devil master, right? That's no problem. It just so happens that the second high priest of the family is coming tonight to check on our results today. When the time comes, I'll let him deal with Xiao Chen. Jing Xiaokuan was stunned. He said that Xiao Chen was a devil master and how powerful he was. In fact, it wasn't that he didn't want Sun Wu Ming to keep the peace. If the Tsin family and the Xiao family were to fight, then Jing Xiaokuan would be in a difficult situation. After all, Xiaochen had helped the Jing family speak up at the Songning Righteous Devil Summit. Moreover, the two of them were also very good friends in school. But now, he didn't expect that after saying so much, it would attract an even more powerful opponent for Xiaochen. This made him very depressed. Brotherson, there's no need to mobilize so many people to deal with a child from an aristocratic family, right? If the other aristocratic families in Songning saw this, they would think that we're also going to deal with them one by one. If that happens, it'll be difficult to deal with them jointly. Chapter 790. Now everyone knows that it's Xiaochen from the Xiao family who offended me. What's wrong with me taking out the Xiao family? Isn't that normal? Who would think twice? They'll just watch the show. Sun Wuming waved his hand. I'm doing this with a good reason. I'm not looking for trouble for no reason. Alright, say no more. I've made up my mind. Yes. Jing Xiaokuan nodded helplessly. He thought that he had to inform Xiaochen so that Xiaochen could prepare in advance. Otherwise, what would happen to Xiaochen if the Tsin family's consecrator came? Why aren't you eating? Why don't you eat? Sun Wuming pointed at the food on the table. Seeing that Jing Xiaokuan wasn't eating much, he was unhappy. What? You don't like the food? I can eat, but you can't. Eat. Jing Xiaokuan wasn't in the mood to eat. However, seeing Sun Wuming's expression, he knew that he had to eat. He could only bite the bullet and eat. That's more like it. Eat this plate of steak. Sun Wuming pushed a plate of steak in front of Jing Xiaokuan. Okay. Thank you, Brotherson. Jing Xiaokuan was on the verge of tears. F***ck, you ordered so much, took a bite of each, and left the rest for me? Are you trying to stuff me to death? Jing Xiaokuan almost died from eating. However, he had no choice but to pretend to be happy and return to class with Sun Wuming. At this time, Xiaochen had already returned from his meal. Seeing Sun Wuming's arrogant look, he was amused. Where did this guy's sense of superiority come from? Did he really think that he had the Xiao family under his thumb? Xiaochen, do you want to know the latest battle report? Seeing that Xiaochen was ignoring him, Sun Wuming felt no sense of accomplishment. However, he didn't dare to make a move. After all, he wasn't sure if Xiaochen was the devil master. So, it was better to wait for the family's consecrator. For the time being, he could just say something. I don't want to know, Xiaochen said lightly. You. Sun Wuming looked deeply into Xiaochen's eyes and said helplessly, do whatever you want, but don't cry tonight when you find out the result. Oh. Xiaochen picked up the book and ignored him. Sun Wuming had the strength but nowhere to exert it, so he could only sit aside resentfully and take out his phone to continue contacting his father, Sun Jejin. After school in the evening, Xiaochen waited for Xiao Xiao, but he didn't drive immediately. Brother, why aren't you leaving? You're still waiting for someone? Xiao Xiao asked curiously. Look at Li Xiener. She didn't leave, right? Xiaochen looked at the middle school section. I don't think so. I was the first one to run out. Xiao Xiao thought about it and said, by the way, brother, I helped you observe Li Xiener today. She's the same as usual. But I suspect. Of course, it's just a suspicion. This Li Xiener might be a fake name. Why? Xiaochen was stunned. You also know that I'm the class's art committee member. I have the right to check the information of the class members. Xiao Xiao said, I found out that everyone has an ID number except for her. Do you think there's a problem? Oh. Xiaochen frowned. Nowadays, many people have an ID card at birth. They don't have to wait until they are 16 years old, but they usually get one after the age of 16. If Li Xiener doesn't have one, then there's really a problem. Yes. Xiao Xiao said proudly, I found nothing special about the others, but her grades in elementary school are very average. Although she looked good in elementary school, she wasn't ugly, but she was like a black potato. Her skin wasn't good at all. Now, it's like milk. Her whole person also has an otherworldly fairy aura. Do you think she used her special ability to change her physique? Xiao Chen nodded. After waiting for a while, Li Xianer didn't come, but Sun Wuming came instead. Aha, isn't this Xiao Chen? Who's this pretty girl? Sun Wuming saw Xiao Xiao and suddenly had a feeling of amazement. He said, "Sister, let me tell you. Don't think that this guy is the young master of the Xiao family. The Xiao family is about to go bankrupt. He will soon be living on the streets. There's no future for you to follow him. Get lost." Xiao Xiao said angrily, "Who are you? Are you crazy? See, you still don't believe me. You should know Jing Xiaokuan, right? If you don't believe me, you can ask him if the Xiao family is going to be finished." Sun Wuming pointed to Jing Xiaokuan beside him and said, "Brother Sun, that is Xiao Chen's sister." Jing Xiaokuan's face was full of black lines. "She is also from the Xiao family." What? Sun Wuming was stunned and didn't know what to say. He could only turn around and get into his car, a Ferrari sports car. Although he had taken a liking to Xiao Xiao, he had already reached an impasse today. There was no turning back. He could only give up for now and wait for the Xiao family to be finished. This kind of young lady who was used to living a luxurious life could be easily tricked into bed. Thinking of this, Sun Wuming was happy again, as if the Xiao family was going to be finished. After a while, Li Xianer came out with her school bag. It seemed that a boy was pestering her with flowers in his hand and was about to confess to her. Nobody knew what he was talking about. Anyway, Li Xianer didn't have a good expression. She walked forward with a cold face. Seeing that Li Xianer ignored him, the boy grabbed Li Xianer. "What are you doing?" "Zhao Yucheng, I told you that I don't want to be in a relationship. Can you stop bothering me? We are not suitable for each other." Li Xianer got rid of the boy impatiently and continued to walk forward. When passing the parking lot, Xiao Xiao suddenly opened the window and shouted, "Li Xianer, take my car. I'll give you a ride." Li Xianer was slightly surprised when she heard Xiao Chen call her, but then she saw Xiao Chen in the driver's seat. She subconsciously thought that Xiao Chen wanted to help her, but at this time, she wanted to get away, so she directly got into the car. "Hey, Li Xianer." The boy saw that Li Xianer got in the car, and he was a little anxious. He walked over in a few steps to open the door. However, Xiao Chen had already locked the door and started the car. He directly threw the boy off. The man named Zhao Yucheng's eyes flashed a touch of coldness. He quickly ran to the side of a Volkswagen Touareg and got in the car. He directly started the car and chased after Xiao Chen's Land Rover. In terms of grade, his car wasn't worse than Xiao Chen's, but it looked more low-key. However, Xiao Chen recognized it and couldn't help but ask, "What is this person doing? He seems to be quite rich." "I don't know. He transferred from another school, and then he began to chase me," Li Xianer said casually to Xiao Chen, but after she finished speaking, she suddenly felt that she was too casual in front of Xiao Xiao. She was a girl who didn't like to talk much in school. Even if Xiao Chen saved her before, it was impossible for her to be so casual with Xiao Chen. However, Xiao Xiao didn't think there was anything wrong with it. She just smiled and said, "Why don't you be my brother's girlfriend? Then, that Zhao Yucheng will give up." Li Xianer was stunned and looked at Xiao Xiao in confusion. "All right, don't pretend. My brother told me that you are the same kind of person. You don't have to hide it." Xiao Xiao smiled. "Oh." Li Xianer was surprised, but she didn't explain. She thought that Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao were talking about her being a martial artist. After all, cultivators weren't easy to understand. Xiao Xiao was also a woman from an aristocratic family. She knew that there was nothing wrong with being a martial artist, so Li Xianer said, "Yes, I am also a martial artist, but my strength is too low. I don't have the ability to protect myself." When Xiao Xiao heard Li Xianer say this, she thought that she wanted to keep the matter of being a superpower a secret, so she didn't expose it. She nodded and said, "My brother is strong, so he can help you." "All right, Xiao Xiao, don't mess around. I just came back for a few days. How can I have time to care about these things?" Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. "Don't be a hindrance when the time comes. When Zhao Yuqing saw that I left, he would be even more crazy. He thinks that since Li Xianer can be a partner with me, she can naturally be a partner with him. It's better to refuse." "That's true." Xiao Xiao nodded. "Right, Li Xianer, where is your home? We will send you back." "No need. Just drop me at the intersection in front." Li Xianer subconsciously didn't want Xiao Chen to know too much about her. "The car behind is chasing." Xiao Xiao pointed to the back of the car. "Ah." Li Xianer also saw Zhao Yuqing's car, and she suddenly had a headache. Why did he follow? Really? Hee, so I helped you get rid of him. "Tell me, where is your home?" asked Xiao Chen. "Well, my home is in Shanty Town." Li Xianer had to say, "I rented a house there." Eh? Xiao Chen was slightly stunned. How can it be Shanty Town? Is this Li Xianer so poor? Seeing Xiao Chen's doubts, Li Xianer smiled self-deprecatingly. "I'm an orphan. I don't have much money. Only my master left me some inheritance before he died, but it's not much. I have to live frugally." Since Xiao Xiao knew that she was a martial artist, Li Xianer didn't avoid the matter of her master. "It's really hard for you to listen." Xiao Xiao sighed sympathetically. Li Xianer wanted to say, "Yeah," but she heard Xiao Xiao continue, "So you really should find a rich boyfriend." "Huh?" Li Xianer looked at Xiao Xiao in amazement. "I'm kidding." Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue. Xiao Chen showed his racing skills at this time. Although it was the rush hour, Xiao Chen's Land Rover was still as dexterous as a motorcycle. It shuttled on the road, and it didn't take long for the Ferrari sports car behind to disappear. Motherf asterisk Ker. Zhao Yuqing slammed the steering wheel and shouted, "The one who drives the Land Rover, I remember you. Don't let me see you again tomorrow, otherwise, humph." As Zhao Yuqing said this, he found a double solid line and turned around to leave. The car came to Shanty Town. Because it couldn't go in, Li Xianer got off here. He nodded to her and didn't say much. Xiao Chen drove away directly. Chapter 791. After Xiao Chen left, Li Xianer thought about it. It couldn't be that Xiao Chang still wanted to learn cultivation from her, so he asked his sister to matchmake her, right? Why didn't this Xiao Chang give up? Li Xianer already knew that Xiao Xiao was not Xiao Chang's boyfriend but his sister, so her thoughts began to drift again. When Xiao Chen and Xiao Xiao returned home, they saw Xia Huang and Yu Xiaochuan's father, Yunan. Second uncle Xiao Hai was discussing something with them. Seeing Xiao Chen come in, Xia Huang immediately stood up. "Xiao Chen. You're all here. Are you studying the Tsin family?" Xiao Chen nodded and asked. "Yeah, some of the businesses that our Yu family and the Xiao family cooperated with were also attacked," Yunan said. The Yu family's main business was the hotel industry. It was true that they were attacked, but it was hard to say whether there would be any effect after the attack. Even if there was, it would be a good effect. Yunan was not as respectful to Xiao Chen as Xia Huang. After all, the Yu family had Yu Xiaochuan and their strength was not weak. In fact, the Yu family could do well without cooperating with the Xiao family. However, Yu Xiaochuan insisted on cooperating with the Xiao family, so Yunan had no choice. Although he was Yu Xiaochuan's father, the core figure of the Yu family was still Yu Xiaochuan. Whoever was stronger had the right to speak. "What's the result?" Xiao Chen asked. "Although we've all been attacked, it seems that our response measures are still good." Xia Huang said, "Take the chain store for example. Our business was not affected at all. On the contrary, because 90% of the goods in the Tsin family store were swallowed by us, They have no goods to sell now. Customers can only come to us. Moreover, because the price of the Tsin family's store is extremely low, our purchase cost is also reduced a lot, so the profit is several times higher than usual. Good job. Xiao Chen breathed a sigh of relief. Although he knew that Xie Huang and the others were not incompetent, he was relieved to hear that it was fine. The hotel business that the Yu clan was working with was also the same. Their profits were much higher than usual. Overall, it was good news. However, they still had to discuss it together. They were afraid that the Tsin clan would come to their senses and continue to play dirty tricks. The Xiao family was celebrating, and so was the Tsin family. Tsin Jiajin did not realize that his current actions were burning money. From his point of view, if he wanted to quickly open up the market, how could he not incur losses in the early stages? And now, the momentum brought about by various promotions and discounts was also very gratifying. Looking at the reports handed over by his assistants, Tsin Jiajin couldn't close his mouth. Great, this is great. In just one day, we've taken over half of the hotel and supermarket industries. The Xiao family's businesses are losing ground, yes, Director Cien. Our supermarket has been out of stock several times, and the hotel is already overcrowded, especially with many people applying for membership cards. The assistant nodded and said, "Not bad, you guys are very capable. Hold the Xiao family back for a few days. When the time comes, they'll be finished. We'll send people to buy all of the Xiao family's businesses." Tsin Jiajin said proudly. Actually, his plan was very good. The customers were already in his shop. Unless the Xiao family also started a price war, they could only wait for death. But the Xiao family was a small family. Could they afford a price war with the real martial clan? It was completely impossible. They could only be bought over. Otherwise, these businesses would be losing money in the hands of the Xiao family. What was the use of keeping them? Tsin Jiajin's plan was very good. This was also a very common business method. Of course, it might be effective against some small businesses, but against the Xiao family, it would be a tragedy. The Xiao family was not a small family or a small business. In terms of wealth, no one in the vicinity could be richer than the Xie family. Especially the Xiao family, the Xie family, and the Yu family were united. Not only were they rich, they also had the business brain, Xie Huang. Not only did they not lose money and wait for death, but they also gained a great advantage. This was something Tsin Jiajin did not expect. Of course, it was impossible for him to think in this direction. After all, supermarkets occupied a lot of their own business. Otherwise, why would many supermarkets like to buy on credit with their suppliers? They were also very scarce in cash. For the Xiao family to use money to buy all the goods in their competitors' supermarkets was simply unimaginable. He had never heard of anyone doing this before. This was not the stock market. It was the same for the hotel industry. It was also strange to let their employees stay in the hotel for a long time. But now that the Xiao family was rich and willful, it was not a problem. Director Tsin, you flatter me. This is all because of Director Tsin's leadership. The assistant quickly said modestly. Well, let's go. The second consecrator is coming. Let's welcome him together. Tsin Jiajin stood up and said seriously. The second consecrator was not from the real martial clan's Tsin family, but from the outer martial world's Tsin family. The outer martial world's Tsin family had sent 2 experts to the real martial clan's Tsin family. This was also to make the Tsin family stand out from the other real martial clans. Just then, Tsin Wuming came back from school. As soon as he entered the door, he saw that his father was going out. Dad, you are going to. Tsin Wuming also received the family's battle report. He wanted to have a joyful chat with his father for a while. The second consecrator is coming. Wuming, you should go with him. Tsin Jiajin said. Okay. Tsin Wuming was very happy when he heard that the second consecrator was coming. He wanted to find a chance to talk to the second consecrator about how to deal with Xiao Chen. They arrived at the Zheng family's gate. The Zheng family had actually moved to a remote place in the courtyard. They were not allowed to walk around. Zheng Xiaoquan felt that this was no longer his home. A commercial vehicle slowly stopped at the gate of the Zheng family's mansion. An old man in a black robe came out of the vehicle. He looked at Sun Jiajin with arrogance in his eyes and said, "Jiajin, I heard that you have been here for a month and have not made any progress. The head of the previous family asked me to come and see if you are not capable or have some difficulties." The old man was very arrogant when he said this. He had the dignity and disdain of a superior. He was the second consecrator of the Tsin family. The head of the previous family he mentioned was naturally not the head of the real martial world's Tsin family, but the head of the outer martial world's Tsin family. Second consecrator, that was in the past. Today, I have great news to report to you. Sun Jiajin said respectfully. Please come in and listen to Jiajin's detailed report. Oh. Good news? Tell me about it. The second consecrator was slightly stunned. He was a little annoyed that Sun Jiajin was so useless. He was sent to help because he had not made any progress in a month. But now, it seemed that it was not the case. Yes. After entering the living room, Sun Jiajin explained in detail how Sun Wuming obtained an opportunity from the Shao family's hothead young master, Shao Chen, and then seized half of the supermarket and hotel industry. Oh. Not bad. The second consecrator listened to Sun Jiajin's report. Although he felt that it was not bad, that was in consideration of the family's interests. He was a little unhappy from the perspective of personal interests. These things happened before he came, so it was not his credit. When he returned, the previous family's head would not give him any reward. This made him a little dispirited. All right, if that's the case, then continue according to your plan. I don't need to do anything. I think I will go back in a few days. Ah. How smart was Sun Jiajin. As soon as he heard the second consecrator's words, he understood the meaning behind it. He quickly said, "Second consecrator, how can you leave? Today's results were only achieved under your supervision. Without your strong backing, we wouldn't have dared to challenge the Shao family. After all, the Shao family is a local aristocratic family. Even if we are a dragon crossing the river, a strong dragon can't suppress a snake in its own territory. But we know that the second consecrator is coming to support us, so we dared to do this." Oh. Is that so? Does this mean that I also contributed? The second consecrator was delighted. That's for sure. When the time comes, I'll report it to the upper family. Without the second deacon, we wouldn't have dared to challenge the Shao family. All of this is because of the second deacon's support. I am not as powerful as you say. The second consecrator laughed. This way, he could get a share of the profits. He immediately felt that Sun Jiajin was more pleasing to the eye. And, since you said so, I will definitely contribute. If there is anything you can't handle, just tell me. I will solve it for you. Yes, thank you, second consecrator. Sun Jiajin quickly thanked him. That. Sun Wuming wanted to talk about Shao Chen, but he was stopped by Sun Jiajin's eyes. Then, second consecrator, do you think we should eat at home or go to the family's hotel? Sun Jiajin asked. Let's go to the hotel. We can see how full the hotel is. The second consecrator nodded. Okay, then let's go to the hotel. Sun Jiajin said, I will contact them. And I will rest first. The second consecrator said, get someone to bring me to my room. Yes. Shao Wang, bring the second consecrator to the prepared room. Sun Jiajin ordered his assistant, Shao Wang. After Shao Wang left with the second consecrator, Sun Wuming looked at his father in confusion. Father, just now I wanted to say, I know. Just now you wanted to talk about letting the second consecrator deal with Shao Chen, right? Sun Jiajin asked. Yes, exactly. Why did you interrupt me? Sun Wuming was confused. He had already talked to his father about taking care of Shao Chen during the day, and his father agreed. Why did he change his mind at night? At this time, it is not appropriate to let the second consecrator deal with Xiao Chen directly. We need to use the second consecrator as a trump card instead of using him directly. Sun Jiajin said, if this continues, the Xiao family's hotel and shopping center will not be able to hold on. In a few days, we will be able to buy them over. However, even if the Xiao family wants to sell them, they will not sell them for a low price. At this time, we need to threaten and bribe them. The second consecrator can appear. Chapter 792. Oh. Father, you are really far-sighted. Sun Wuming immediately understood. I'm just teaching Xiao Chen a lesson for a while, but you are making the Xiao family suffer for a long time. That's right. If Xiao Chen is really a martial arts master like you said, then the Xiao family will definitely use Xiao Chen as a trump card and bring him to negotiate with us. It will also serve as a deterrent and pressure. The price they sell us won't be too low. Sun Jiajin said, but they didn't expect our second priest to be even more powerful. They can only wait to cry, ha ha ha. Okay, let Xiao Chen be proud for 2 more days. Sun Wuming thought about the gains and losses, so he wasn't in a hurry to teach Xiao Chen a lesson. Not only did he not teach Xiao Chen a lesson, but he also wanted to show weakness to the enemy, making Xiao Chen feel that he really couldn't do anything to him. When the second priest appeared, Xiao Chen's disadvantage would be huge. Maybe he wouldn't be able to accept the fact and become mentally ill. In the evening, Sun Jiajin and his son brought the second priest to a relatively high-end hotel. This hotel was also acquired, so the front desk manager didn't know Sun Jiajin and the others. He thought they were guests who wanted to stay in the hotel. In order to investigate the situation, Sun Jiajin didn't reveal his identity, but asked directly, young man, we want to stay in the hotel. 3 rooms. I'm sorry, sir. Our hotel is full because of the event. The lobby manager walked over and said politely. Oh. That room is empty? Sun Jiajin asked. This one is really empty. The lobby manager smiled bitterly. All of them are full. Then, can we have a room tomorrow? Sun Jiajin asked. This is hard to say because most of the guests booked more than 3 days. Even if there is a booking for 1 day, if they don't check out and continue to pay tomorrow, we can't kick them out, right? The lobby manager explained. Huh, not bad. Sun Jiajin was delighted after hearing it. The second priest on the side was also very satisfied. It seemed that Sun Jiajin wasn't bragging, but it was really true. Seeing that Sun Jiajin laughed and said not bad, the lobby manager was a little puzzled. Sir, you are Xiao Lu, right? I'm Sun Jiajin. Did my assistant, Xiao Wang, contact you before? Sun Jiajin smiled. Ah. It's Director Sun, I'm sorry. The lobby manager apologized profusely. I've never seen you before, so. Well, it's fine. I just want to see the real you. Alright, have you arranged the dinner? Lead the way. Sun Jiajin waved his hand and said. Okay, Director Sun, please come with me. The lobby manager hurriedly made a please gesture. When he went to the elevator, Sun Jiajin found that all 3 elevators were in use, which meant that there were a lot of people in the hotel, so he simply took the stairs. Anyway, the restaurant was in the basement, so it was only a few steps away. Keep it up. You've done very well. I'll report what I see. The second priest was also very satisfied with the current situation. Same to you. Sun Jiajin said happily. It was a quiet night. The next morning, Xiao Chen woke up early. Looking at Xiao Xiao who was sleeping soundly next to him, Xiao Chen planned to go to the morning market street to see how Kerlin was doing. He hadn't seen her for a long time. In Xiao Chen's mind, he didn't have much romantic feelings for Kerlin. At most, it might be a kind of habit to take care of her. It was like that when he was in number 1 middle school, and it was still the same after he left. Xiao Chen didn't drive, but ran all the way to the morning market street. It was a familiar street, but when Xiao Chen came here again, it was so strange, as if it was a lifetime ago. It seemed like he hadn't been here for a long time. Looking at the familiar scene of the morning market street, it seemed that everything was getting farther and farther away from him. Fried dough sticks and tofu pudding, bacon pancake, Zhang's meat buns, all kinds of hawking were mixed with the sound of people bargaining. Xiao Chen slowly walked to the market, but when he walked to the stall where Tang Tang and himself used to be, he couldn't help but be stunned. This was not Lin Kuer's family's wooden planks, but a stall selling new and strange items. Look, all kinds of new and special products. Several men in their 20s were hawking in front of the stall. Have you seen a small saw that can cut an iron bar? It's right here. Only $15. You won't lose out if you buy it. You won't regret it if you buy it. The man shouted as he sawed an iron pipe back and forth with a saw blade. Soon, the iron pipe was sawed off. The saw in his hand was only a small saw that could be held with one hand. Such a magical thing naturally attracted the generosity of the people around, because 15 yuan was really not expensive. If this thing was really useful, it was really a good price. Have you seen a magical little box that can receive all the satellite programs? This is what I'm going to show everyone today. Everyone, please take a look. As long as you connect the video cable of this box to the TV, you can receive a satellite TV. The young man nimbly connected the equipment, and then all kinds of high-definition channels appeared on the TV. There's also an adult channel, you know. As he spoke, the young man changed the channel. Suddenly, there were scenes of on the TV. Some aunties scolded the young man for being indecent, but there were also many old men who expressed great interest and wanted to buy it. At this time, an old man squeezed in with a swish, "This satellite receiver box I bought yesterday doesn't work at all." Before he finished, a young man pulled the old man out. "Sir, it's you who don't know how to use it, right? How about this, I will go home with you to adjust it." Xiao Chen frowned. Go home to adjust it? Maybe they threatened and forced this old man to not dare to make trouble again? Xiao Chen could guess this kind of trick. There were also things like sonic mousetraps, infrared dog scares, and the like. Some were real, but even if they were real, the effects weren't that magical. Xiao Chen didn't care about these. What he was most concerned about was who the owner of this stall was. Could it be someone hired by Kerlin's family? If that was the case, then Xiao Chen had really misjudged them. After watching for a while, Xiao Chen left. He planned to find someone to ask about the situation. However, as he walked forward, he saw Kerlin's noodle stall. It had returned to its original position. Of course, it was at the back, and business wasn't as good as before. "Kerlin." Xiao Chen called out to Kerlin, who was busy. "Ah, Xiao Chen." When Kerlin saw Xiao Chen, a complicated look flashed in her eyes. She didn't know how she should treat Xiao Chen. Was it gratitude? Love? Fear? Or nothing at all? However, every time she saw Xiao Chen, she would feel very nervous, and the spinach in her hand would fall to the ground. "Let me help you pick it up." Xiao Chen squatted down and helped Kerlin pick up the spinach. Kerlin was wearing a short skirt in early spring, which was also the school uniform of No. 1 middle school. When Xiao Chen squatted down, he saw a touch of spring between her legs. It was pink panties. Ah! Kerlin might have also realized this. When she saw Xiao Chen staring blankly, her face suddenly turned red. She subconsciously wanted to close her legs, but because the spinach and water from before had spilled on the ground, her feet slipped, and her body unconsciously leaned forward. This time, Kerlin sat directly on Xiao Chen's face. The pink panties also happened to press down on Xiao Chen's face. The scent of a young girl made Xiao Chen a little restless. He wanted to push Kerlin away, but he couldn't bear to let go of this feeling. At this time, Papa Lin and Mama Lin were attracted by the scream, and they saw their daughter sitting ambiguously on a man's face. This posture, this action. Papa Lin rubbed his eyes. It can't be, my daughter has grown up to be so avant-garde? Mama Lin was a little angry. She ran over and pulled Kerlin up. Only then did Xiao Chen awkwardly crawl out from under the skirt. Auntie, Mama Lin was about to get angry. Which little brat dared to do such a vulgar thing in public? But when she saw it was Xiao Chen, she couldn't help but be stunned. Isn't this Xiao Chen? Long time no see. You and our Ku'er are already together? Mama Lin originally wanted to beat Kerlin and Xiao Chen to death when she saw her daughter fall in love. But when she saw it was Xiao Chen, her attitude mysteriously changed. First, Xiao Chen always helped the Lin family, and he even saved Kerlin several times. Second, she heard that Xiao Chen's family was very well off, and her daughter wouldn't be at a disadvantage if she followed him. This. Auntie, it's a misunderstanding. Xiao Chen could only explain while wiping his sweat. I saw Ku'er drop the spinach, so I helped her pick it up. I didn't expect her to slip, and it became like that just now. Actually, we really didn't do anything. Is that really the case? Mama Lin looked at the spinach on the ground and suddenly felt a little disappointed. Speaking of which, she was very satisfied with Xiao Chen as a son-in-law, but it turned out to be a misunderstanding. That's right, Mommy, why are you making such a big fuss? Lin Ku'er said with a blushing face. She only felt that there was a strange feeling under her body. It was a little bashful and exciting, but it seemed to be pretty good. Shocked by this thought, Lin Ku'er hurriedly shook her head. How could it be pretty good? This was a very dirty thing. Oh. Mama Lin didn't say anything more. She looked at her daughter's blushing face and felt that there was a problem here, but maybe they hadn't really confirmed their relationship. In Mama Lin's opinion, Kerlin was also growing up, and in the blink of an eye, she would be going to college in the next half of the year, so it was normal for her to have a boyfriend. And the most important problem was that the Lin family's financial situation wasn't good. Even if they had saved some money before, with the addition of Kerlin's prize money from the competition, it was only enough to buy an ordinary first-floor retail store. So, Kerlin inevitably didn't have money to go to college. If Xiao Chen and Kerlin were together, then she wouldn't have to worry anymore. In the past, she thought that selling noodles could make a living, but as she grew older, and Papa Lin's health wasn't very good, so Mama Lin wanted to open a store and not work so hard in the morning market. You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.